Hello, ThreadTalk family. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. How was your weekend? Hope you're all having a great Tuesday or a great day, whatever day you're listening this on. What's up, Denver?
Not much. Just happy to be here.
Today,
Episode 67.
we're talking about some toxic people. Toxic waste. We did a toxic relationships episode way back when. I think it was like episode 10 or something.
No,
Could be wrong about that.
not 10, but 8.
Okay, single digits. But
Long time ago.
that was just relationships, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Like
Toxic relationships.
yeah, like partner relationships.
Mm-hmm.
For me, at least for me today, I have some.
We're going to open the scope.
Yeah.
Just all kinds of people.
All the toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of drama today. So buckle up. I don't think that there are any gross stories in this.
But we'll work on our trigger warnings.
Yes, that we will.
I've got 7 stories.
I have 8.
So
We'll see how many we get through.
we'll go back and forth and it'll be a good time.
And any leftovers will, as usual, go on our Patreon, which is released every Friday. Every single Friday, you guys get a bonus episode on Patreon.
Yes.
Alrighty, should we just get into it?
Yep, I'll go first.
Okay.
Wow.
Did you think I was going to intercede?
You thought you were going to dictate who goes first.
That's all right. Go ahead, honey.
Okay, so this one's coming from Am I Overreacting? My friend wants to kick me out after I lost my home in the LA wildfire.
Jeez.
Long story short, I've known this dude for 15 years. He's always been a little flaky, but we've been friends forever. When he lost everything, I gave him a place to sleep and live, and literally didn't charge him a cent until he figured out his life and moved out. Now I, like many others, lost my home in the LA wildfires. You can't even imagine how fucking terrible this has been for so many of us. I've literally been in tears most days. I have nothing except a car and some clothes. I've only been staying on his fucking couch for less than 2 weeks, but he has zero awareness. Suddenly, it's 3 fucking weeks, and now there's a mystery girl who has priority. I'm just sad, man. This dude was my friend. I feel betrayed. Am I overreacting here, or am I right to be absolutely pissed and want to remove him permanently from my life after this? And then there is a text message bubble between the people. And the friend says, like, I love you, but I need my space back. It's been 3 weeks. OP replies and says, dude, you for real? The fuck? My house fucking burnt down. I let you crash with me for 2 fucking years for free. Friend replies back, dead ass, I'm sorry, but the girl I'm seeing wants to spend more time here, and it's weird with you on the couch. Like, dead ass, I thank you for letting me stay, but it don't mean you can be here 2 years. 3 weeks is enough time to figure it out. Like, I get the fire was fucked. My office burnt down too, bro. But like, we're all moving on and it's time. What about the insurance? OP replies and says, that's not even a realistic thing at this moment. It's being investigated with hundreds of other people who lost their house. Chances are I'm fucked. I just can't believe this shit. It's fine though. It's your place. But don't think that we're good after this. You literally said, quote, you can stay here for as long as you need for free. I'll get my shit out tonight. I'm literally going to be homeless. You know this. The friend replies, come on. You'll be chill. Car camping. Haha. It's all gonna work out. Trust. I'm praying for you. I already packed your stuff. No stress.
Okay. I'm already triggered by the way this guy is talking. Trust. It's all finna work out. Dead ass. Dead ass. No. Okay. He has every right to kick him out because it is his house and he doesn't, they didn't sign a lease agreement. There's no obligation here. But morally, you are the shittiest person on earth. OP let you stay at his house for 2 years.
2 years.
For free.
2 years.
For free is crazy.
That's insane.
And you are worried about 3 weeks because this new girl is like uncomfortable about some other guy being there.
Bro's house burnt down. All of LA burnt down. And all this dude cares about is getting some.
No, OP, you are not overreacting in the slightest. I would run away from this relationship. Like, this man does not value you as a person, doesn't care for you as a friend. He literally doesn't. People show their true colors in crises like these.
It's insane. I can't believe like you know that your friend has no option but live in the
And
car.
he's like, oh, you'll figure it out.
They're
Ha
like
ha.
car camping,
Ha ha
haha.
ha ha.
It's like, dude, what the fuck? Top comment, you're a worthless, spineless piece of shit. Dead ass. If he ever crawls out of the sludge he currently resides in, remind him he can go car camping, haha. Put this shit on blast to every mutual you have.
Yeah. Period. Oh my god. I feel so bad for OP. This is
Same.
like,
It's like the LA fires were
heartbreaking.
devastating, and does it like you're with a friend, so you don't have like the family support system who's close by or even there, and this friend is like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about you, I'm trying to get some, so you can go sleep in your car
That is the
after
most selfish person ever.
after you let him live with you for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too, because like with the LA wildfires, like I don't know, like I watched the one video that said like all the insurance companies pulled out 6 months before. A lot of people's policies got canceled because
6 months prior to the actual fires?
yeah, the insurance companies pulled out because they basically noticed that LA is a huge fire risk. They're like the county doesn't have enough water to put out. Like if a wildfire spread, their water reserves are low. They don't have enough water
Holy.
for it. They're not clearing the dead brush away from like the hillsides, and it's super dry. So they're like, this is just a very high fire risk area. If a wildfire breaks out here, we're going to have to insure all of these homes. That's not good business for us. So they canceled all the insurance policies, or not all of them, but like something like 90% of the insurance companies for like the LA area canceled fire insurance because they're like, this is too high risk. Why would we insure this when it's most likely going to burn down?
Okay, on the opposite side, why would anyone live there then if they're not covered?
Well, exactly.
Like,
but that would be
are
your.
they just saying like, okay, you can live here at your own risk if there's a
Well,
fire?
they're already living there. Well, insurance doesn't care about that.
That's crazy.
That'd be like us when we're going to build our house, we're trying to get insurance, and they're like, you're in a very high prone flood area. We're not going to give you flood insurance because it's most likely that your house is going to get flooded. So we're not going to insure you because most likely you're going to pay $3,500 a month. And then in 6 months, we're going to have to pay $1 million. Like, that's not good business for us. It's like when car companies don't insure high risk drivers. They're like, you've been in 3 accidents. Why would we insure you? That's not good business for us.
Yeah, but I just feel like, I don't know, LA is not any small town or anything. I feel like there are repercussions to them pulling out like this. Also, were the policyholders like advised, not advised, were they like made aware?
Yeah,
of
like they
the
were made aware
changes?
that like their insurance policy was being terminated, that they would no longer be insuring them. They're going to have to find other insurances or another insurance policy. But the reason that majority of them pulled out was because of like the township, that like LA, like they're like, you're not clearing the dry brush. That's a fire hazard. Your water reserves are not filled up. So if
So
fire
then it's
does happen,
on the
you're putting them.
township or the city of
It's kind
LA.
of like that. It's like, why would you want to live in LA when your city isn't putting the money so that you can't even get insurance? And I'll bet you before the fire happened, a lot of the people that had their insurance canceled, they're probably looking at their options like, maybe I need to move out of this area.
That is so crazy because people have literally lost their homes. Like, where are they supposed to go? It's just like, I feel like it's a lose-lose for everybody, including the city of LA. Like,
Yeah.
why would anyone want to stay there afterwards?
You shouldn't want to stay there. Like you wouldn't want to live somewhere that's a high fire hazard and you have no fire insurance. You would
Yeah.
want to move out of there, but it's not always as simple because
Of course.
you try to sell your home. Why would anybody want to buy your home?
Of
Why would I
course.
want to buy this house that's in a fire hazard area and I can't get fire
Well,
insurance
for the
for
people
it?
who completely lost their homes, like there's nothing to sell there. So like they
Exactly.
literally have to up and leave.
There's so many
And
people that are
guess what? They're
fucked.
not gonna choose to stay in LA probably. Like,
That's why it was so devastating.
wow, I didn't realize that was the case.
That's why it was so devastating, because most of the people that lost their house are like, they're not getting insurance to replace their house.
That's crazy.
And that's on like the township and the township because they made it like an unsafe place to live. And then like you would have slow repercussions, right? Like, it's not going to happen instantly, but it would be like an economic thing over years. It'd be like people would stop moving to LA because they're not fixing this issue. People are moving out of LA because they're not fixing that issue. And eventually, the LA wouldn't have that tax income from all the people living there. Nobody wants to live
Yeah,
there anymore
exactly.
until they would like fix that solution.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, how is this like a good
It's not good.
scenario for LA? I mean, like,
It's not.
as a city.
So apparently it's a bunch of political mismanagement
Yeah,
and corruption.
yeah.
So it's very heartbreaking for everybody. So many people lost their homes, and this poor dude lost his home and just has finds out his friend at the worst possible time. You can find out you have a shit friend. That's when you have it. There's an update that came 4 days later, and it said, everyone has been asking for an update. You're all so fucking sweet, and the words of encouragement have been beautiful. A kind Redditor let me crash on their couch for a bit, but today is my first official full day car living. I'm just hoping things work out. My fire policy was canceled about a month before the wildfires, as were many other people's policies around the same time. So my current state is nebulous as to wait to see what comes from this. I have no real update other than your love has made me feel an immense warmth. The sheer amount of crying I've done the last few days has been lessened after hearing some of your words of encouragement.
Wow. So sad, so heartbreaking.
Yeah, I would have definitely like also put my friend on blast in like the friend circle of like, hey,
Oh yeah, this is the person that you guys are
yeah,
choosing to keep as your friend. Like,
just so you know, like I'm no longer
Well,
friends with this person because this is what they did to me after I let them sleep on my couch for like 2 years.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
just full transparency here. If you want to still be his friend, go for it, but you may be screwed in the future.
Exactly. Some toxic waste.
Extremely. Alrighty. Me?
Back to or over to you.
All right.
What do you got for us?
Am I the asshole for not letting my friends use my backyard for their wedding because they do not want me to bring a +1? Here is the situation. Last summer, I bought my grandparents' house. This house was a hangout spot for my friend and I throughout our childhood. This includes my friend Dave. The house was a sizable amount of land, which includes a lake and a gazebo. I was supposed to buy the house with my now ex-girlfriend, Leslie. But going through the process of getting approval to buy, I found out that she has massive amounts of credit card and personal debt that she hid from me throughout our 4 years together. I decided to break up as a result. That was about 6 months ago. I met Leslie because Dave's long-term girlfriend, Kim, is Leslie's cousin. Dave and Kim are engaged and set to get married in April. When I was buying the house, they asked if they could have the ceremony at the gazebo, which I agreed to do. In December, I started dating again. Leslie has not taken this well at all. She thinks we are going to get back together and has tried multiple times to make that happen. I told her that in no uncertain terms, that isn't happening. Dave and Kim have asked me to not bring a +1 to the wedding for Leslie's sake. I have told them that this request is ridiculous. This wedding is happening at my house using my land, and I am not allowed to bring a date because of my crazy ex. If that is the case, then they need to find a new venue for the wedding. They are pissed about this, given the short time frame of when the wedding is supposed to happen. So we are at an impasse. Am I the asshole?
No way. Bro, your house.
Your house.
Your venue.
Your
and
rules.
You can't bring a +1? I'm sorry? I would have the exact same reaction. I got the exact same thing.
So there are a couple edits to bring some more context into this. I have seen a few things brought up a number of times in the comments, so I will quickly address them here. 1. I am fully aware of the liability issues, which is why I purchased and they reimbursed me for a special event insurance policy, which will provide 100% coverage for any damages, claims, injuries, etc. to any of the property or persons up to $2 million. It is one of the first things we did after I agreed to have the event in my home. 2. The wedding will have a maximum, if everyone comes, of 75 guests, 5 catering staff, and 5 security staff. The security is because this is an open area that anyone walking past can access. The house has hosted events twice this size, and logistically, it has been fine. On the property are 2 cottages, one with 1 bathroom and the other with 2 bathrooms. The only portion of my house that will not be locked during the wedding is the finished basement. The basement has 2 bathrooms. 3. Every person who is single, i.e. not in an established relationship, received an invitation with a +1, including me and Leslie. This talk came after I sent in my return card and indicated I was bringing a +1. Now they are saying they do not want me to have this +1 because Leslie blew up about it and they are afraid of a blow up at the wedding. 4. Leslie indicated she intends to bring someone on her card. I do not know if she will actually bring someone. So, let's break this down. They provided him with the option of a +1. He
Right.
said, I will take it, sure. They're like, nope, never mind. Didn't think you actually would.
No, not even that. It was Leslie found out.
Yeah.
And then Leslie blew up, even though Leslie plans to. And I can see, like, they just want to avoid the drama.
They want to keep the peace.
Yeah. They're like, it's her cousin.
The worst.
They can't uninvite Leslie. Leslie's going to be there. But you don't give that option to the person who's giving you the
who
venue.
holds all the cards. Like, you're playing with fire here. Like, do you want this wedding to happen or not? Because why would you even take that risk?
Exactly.
Especially him voicing his concern and they're still like fighting back and still like, no, please don't, like, for Leslie's sake. Why would you even say that? Once he brought up the concern, they should have been like, yes, you're right. You're right. If they cared about having this wedding, they would have been like, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really just trying to avoid the drama people or something.
Like, how much do you value avoiding the drama? Obviously more than you having this wedding.
Yeah. I think it's a shitty thing to even ask, but at the very most, you ask once. And like you probably shouldn't, but at the very most, you just let them know, let the OP know, like, hey, Leslie's freaking out. You know, would you mind? Maybe not. Like, you totally have rights to bring your +1. We just don't want any drama. We can't seem to rein her in and we can't uninvite her. So would you mind not bringing a +1 just to avoid this drama this one time and then going forward, nothing else? I feel like there's nothing. No, not that there's nothing. I feel like you're still walking on thin ice asking that question because it's his freaking venue. But I think you could ask once.
There is going back from asking. There's no going back from like insisting that he doesn't bring it.
Yeah, like if you explain the situation and you're just like, dude, Leslie's crazy, but it's my cousin. There's nothing we can do about it. Like we can't uninvite her. She's bringing a +1. And I just don't want her unstable explosion to ruin our wedding. How important is it to bring a +1? Like, are you okay with not bringing a +1 to avoid this drama? Or do you really want your +1 there? Like, I don't want to ask you not to bring your +1 because you have full rights to bring your +1. But we feel like she is going to cause a huge explosion. So if you do bring a +1, would you mind just trying to like avoid her? Not to make the situation worse because she is a ticking time bomb.
See, but like there's so many patterns with these types of stories because it's always the people who want to keep the peace, quote unquote, that enable the toxic person. And they always go to the person who's being reasonable to try to like mitigate the risk with them.
I feel like there's a reason for that pattern because you can't reason with the crazy person. So you can only reason with the reasonable person.
Then disinvite her. Like
it's cousin,
everybody
you
can.
It's just
your wedding, your choice.
This brings me back to my rocking the boat analogy.
Yes. Okay. If it meant that much to you that you don't want drama, you have to go to the source of the drama and remove them. That is the core issue here. The core issue is Leslie. We need to stop enabling these toxic behaviors and stop asking the reasonable people to give in. Because that shows your colors and that shows whose relationship you value more.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, but I'm just not surprised what keeps happening.
I agree.
There's the part at the top where he's like, we were going to buy a house, and then she hid from me massive debt, credit cards and personal debt, throughout the 4 years. And I feel like when we were first started dating, it wasn't like that I hid anything from you. But I did have a little bit of my own debt. And then once we got to a certain point of our relationship, it was right before we moved in together. Like I had my own stuff and I had a little bit of debt that I was trying to pay off. But once we got to the point where we were looking to move in and get an apartment together, that's when I was like, hey.
I think it was even before that.
I don't think so. I remember it was like in Barrie, and
Yeah.
we were looking to
I
get
think you
into a
told
new
me
place.
when I was in the Netherlands, and at that point we didn't plan on moving in together.
No, I didn't tell you in the
Okay,
Netherlands.
maybe I'm
I
wrong.
told you in Barrie when we got back and we were looking
Mm.
at a new place. At least that's how I remember it. But at that point, I was like, okay, it's been 2 years into our relationship. We're looking to move in together. Like, hey, I just want to let you know, I've got a couple $1,000s over here that I've been trying to like pay down, and
Mhm.
that you were fully aware. I didn't hide anything from you or my credit rating when we're moving in, because it's like, hey, we're
There
gonna,
was no need to, like,
yeah,
share that before. Yeah.
exactly. But we got to the point where it's like, now there's a need.
Yeah.
But he says, like, yeah, so that's why I'm like, was there ever a need before in their 4-year relationship? Like, how much was it?
I
Like, she
guess
just didn't talk about it, or did she
yeah.
actually hide it?
Yeah,
Is my
exactly.
question of like,
He
when do
uses the
you
term hide, so I feel like maybe they discussed finances before and she, like
hit it?
yeah.
And it's just like, I was just curious question of like, when in your relationship do you let your spouse know about your financial situation,
Yeah.
good or bad? Like, what is like, when do you tell your
Once you
spouse
lock
like,
them down.
yeah, like, oh, I've got this much in my retirement savings, like I've this much saved for a house, like,
Mhm.
I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody and through those first couple years, as you start talking about like your future, I feel like that person should be like open about that stuff. You start talking about your future of when you want to buy a house,
Yeah.
and your partner is like, will not tell you about anything of their savings or debt or anything. It's like a little bit of a yellow flag of like, hey, that open communication.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, there's an update. So I met with Dave this morning. We talked for almost 2 hours about everything. I laid it out that I thought he was, at best, a shitty friend. I went through our long history of various things over the years that has me questioning our friendship. That was the bulk of our conversation. We then turned to the breakup with Leslie and the shit show of the last 6 months. Throughout the last 6 months, despite Leslie's craziness, I have bent over backwards to try and accommodate her feelings. She has shown up to my house in the middle of the night. I did not go for a restraining order. When I go out, I do not go to the places I know that her and her family like to go. She has implied to her family and mutual friends at various times that I cheated and or that I took advantage of her financially, neither of which is true at all. I have held my tongue to not embarrass her about these things in front of her friends and family. Dave knows all of this and yet is demanding once again that I put Leslie's feelings before my own. I said, you and everyone else need to stop coddling her like she is a fucking child. Dave concedes that Leslie has been crazy and ridiculous since the breakup, but he says, quote, she feels she did not get that closure after their relationship. She wants to have an evening where she can talk to you to get that closure. He also told me that Leslie has been very vigilant about paying off her debt and paid off almost 10 grand of her credit card debt. She wants to talk to me about her progress to see if that might cause me to change my mind. It will not. I asked him, so do you expect me to go to this wedding and talk to her? Because I have her blocked everywhere and, date or not, I do not plan to say a single mumbling word to her. He said, I fully expect she would lose it if y'all don't talk at the wedding. I told him if that is the case, then for the good of my property, I can't have Leslie come. If she is so unstable that I need to be coerced into a conversation with her, she is too unsafe to be a guest, in any capacity, in my home. So I have told him, based on what he has told me, Leslie cannot come to my house or on my land. I am willing to still have the wedding at my place, but I cannot trust Leslie won't do something, given what you are telling me. Dave lost it at this point. He said, fuck you and your shit. I don't need it. So I said, then the wedding is off. He left. So this is the state of things.
Damn. Stay strong, man. If that literally though, like if that's what you're saying and she's so unstable, like, and I don't talk to her, is she gonna like burn my house down
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
trash it? Like, I literally can't trust it. So yeah, at this point, I don't want her on my property. And if you can't handle that, don't have your wedding here.
Dave sucks.
Yeah.
Dave sucks so bad because what the heck is this behavior?
Just enabling the behavior.
Yeah, I have nothing more to say. It just shows like who he values, and yeah, he values like keeping the peace more than this friendship that he has built for since childhood.
Exactly. And obviously OP is not like, yeah, cool, you paid off 10K of your credit card debt. It's obviously,
It's not going to change anything.
yeah, it's obviously the fact that you lied to him for 4 years or extended period of time. That is what he determined he doesn't want to deal with anymore. And he's like, everything that's happening, he has her blocked on everything.
Mhm.
So everything that happened after he broke off with her kind of like reinforced, like, I did the right thing.
Yeah,
Like, she's
exactly.
turned
It's a
crazy.
nail in the coffin after the breakup.
Yeah,
Like,
multiple nails.
top comment says, to add, the day of the wedding is not the time to get closure, and at the wedding is not the place to get closure. Your friends are okay with her hijacking their ceremony so she can sleep better at night? Yeah, that would be a big not happening, any of it, from me.
Like, even if I did have a conversation with her, even if you forced me to have a conversation with her, it is not the conversation that she
Wants to
wants.
hear,
So
yeah.
there's almost a guarantee that she's going to be blowing up at the wedding no matter what. I'm not going to be getting back together with her. So
Yeah.
she's either going to blow up from not talking to me or she's going to blow up because she did talk to me. Do you really want that at your wedding?
Yeah.
Damn.
Easy.
The fuck out of here.
So much toxic waste.
So much toxicity going on.
All right, on to you.
My mom got a $30,000 personal loan in my name without my knowledge. The account is from February, which is when they bought a boat. Now they've missed 4 payments and told me that they're going to let it default since the boat can't be repossessed, and they're going to call DCFS on me.
What's DCFS?
I think it's like Child Protective Services.
Oh. Wait, what? Yeah, you're right. Department of Children and Family Services.
Yeah. So this originally comes from August 2024. I knew my mom had her eye on a pontoon boat for the last year. She and my dad retired in 2022, and while they aren't swimming in money, they weren't hurting much for it either, or so I thought. They bought a boat in February for a little over $30,000. I didn't think a lot of it since they've always rented a pontoon boat 2 to 3 times per year and didn't appear to have any money issues. At the start of July, I began getting my ducks in a row to buy a house. When I applied for pre-approval, I found out my credit score was barely over 600 and I had an extra $30,000 in debt I had no idea about. Even worse, it was 90 plus days late. I told the lender the account wasn't mine, and he said my identity had probably been stolen, but it was probably someone close to me as the money would have had to go to a bank account with my name on it. I shared a bank account with my ex-fiancé and asked the bank to look into it. They said the account had been closed a couple of years ago when we broke up, and no attempts to send money to it / take money from it have been made since. I filed a dispute with the company and the credit agencies as it was obvious to me I had been hacked or my identity had been stolen. About a week ago, I got a notice from the company to my apartment saying that they were going to charge off the account if payment wasn't made. I requested more information from them and they linked me to the fraud department. They were able to tell me where the money was sent to a bank account from when I was a minor that I shared with my mom. When I called the bank, they confirmed that there was activity on the account, and the statement showed the loan coming in and almost all of the money being transferred into what looks like my mom's account at the same bank. I haven't used that bank in more than a decade. I called my mom and asked her about it, and she, after a long pause, said that's how they bought the boat. They made 1 payment on the account and realized they probably couldn't afford the monthly payments for the next 5 years. When I asked why they hadn't told me, she said it was because they figured I would say no.
Duh.
They were right, and that they had worked hard in their lives and wanted to enjoy retirement. It ended by them saying the boat couldn't be repossessed because it was a personal loan. My mom suggested declaring bankruptcy, and I told them I was going to the police. My mom said not to do that because they wouldn't take it seriously. When I told her I was doing it anyway, she hinted that she might have to call DCFS on me. My 2-year-old burned themselves on a hot pan earlier this year. Simple ER visit and was told accidents happen. He's fine. But she would have to call them regarding an unsafe home.
Oh.
I think I'm still going to go to the police because declaring bankruptcy would make it impossible to buy a house. I just needed to vent and looking for any advice.
What? The actual fuck. Okay, when you read the title and it said DCFS, I was like wondering what the age was. Because I thought, I don't know, I didn't realize like she was calling it on her family and her kids. Like OP's family and her kids.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't even know what to do here.
That's so funny. You said her kids. I'm thinking his kids. It doesn't say anywhere like what
Oh.
OP's gender is.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And that's just so funny because it shows my
We have to
default
stop doing that.
and your default of what
Yeah.
OP would be. Oh, man.
So this was originally posted to the credit score subreddit. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't have any advice
So
for this, unfortunately. Just like relationship advice, cut off your parents. Like literally never talk to them again. Block them on everything after you get your money back and everything. After your name is cleared.
how do you get your money back?
I don't know.
They don't
Yeah,
have
go
your
to the
money.
police.
They don't even
Honestly,
have
go
money.
to the police because
Can you-
accidents do happen. Like, I don't think they're going to take your kids away because they accidentally burn themselves. I don't know. But, I mean, crazy stuff has happened.
You can't even take the boat because the boat would be registered in your parents' name.
Oh, I didn't even
So
think
it's
of
not even like
that.
you have a boat. The boat, I would check for the registration and see if the registration's in my name, I would just take the boat and then sell
Like,
it.
my question is, like, were they prepared to lose their daughter in this thing?
Or
Like,
son.
sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. Daughter or son, they,
Child.
the child. Were they prepared to lose their child in this to get a $30,000 boat? Because
And they're trying to blackmail would be like, oh,
blackmail.
if you rat us out, we'll rat you out.
This to me, I don't know, the fact that OP shared this detail about their kids, I'm just gonna say their kids having to go to the hospital for a burn or whatever, like, I don't know, this is like a small indication that they probably talk a lot, like, with their mom.
Oh, that told them what happened.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah.
that they're close enough.
That they communicated.
Like, they communicate
Yeah.
stuff like this,
Yeah.
which means, like,
Mom's like takes it like, that's a nice nugget I'm gonna put over here to blackmail for a pontoon boat.
so I don't know, like, I'm definitely jumping here, but it doesn't seem like this that they have a rocky relationship. Like, it seems like they have a good relationship, and this probably, like, out of the blue,
Yeah.
shocked.
And it's like a personal loan, so it's not like a vehicle finance. So it's not like the vehicle was weighed against the loan to back up the loan. Like the company could come after the boat to repossess. It's a personal loan. It's like you just got
Yeah.
they got 30,000 off of the merit of your credit,
Yeah.
and that was it, like a line of credit,
Line of credit, yeah.
basically. So yeah. So top comment. Copying this for every identity theft situation I see on here, since it seems to happen a lot, where you know who the person is who stole your identity. This is all the information you can find to the sub and others. 1. Call the police. You're the victim of identity theft, plain and simple. Doesn't matter who did it or what your relationship is to them. They broke the law. Now they have to face the consequences of their actions.
Jail.
2. Freeze your credit. You want to make sure it doesn't happen again. Take the proactive route of freezing your credit. 3. Monitor and track your credit. You need to be alerted if anyone tries opening a line of credit in your name. This gives you a way to do it for free, and it shows you your credit score. I guess that was a link above. 4. Warn anyone else who might be a victim. This includes family members or anyone else whose social security number might be compromised by the thief. 5. Take the police report to the credit bureaus. Give them the report number when you dispute all the accounts. Most of the time, there will be enough for them to take the accounts off your credit. It's on the creditors themselves to prove the accounts are legitimately yours, and the bureaus aren't going to get in the middle of it. A police report goes a long way in clearing up your credit. Don't take identity theft lying down. Even if someone's close to you, if you let them get away with it, get ready for 5 to 10 years of bad credit, collection agencies coming after you, lawsuits, etc. Your mom 100% committed familial identity theft, and now she's trying to scare you into not reporting her. Don't let her scare you. DCFS, or the same thing in other states, are typically only going to take action if there is clear-cut signs of abuse. It sounds like a minor burn months ago is nothing. The ER staff is right. Accidents happen. Anyone can make an online report with DCFS on anyone for anything. It literally means nothing unless it's a legitimate report. And even then, the sad state of many of these state services means even real reports of real abuse often slip through the cracks. I would look into a restraining order if she tries it though. Don't declare bankruptcy, whatever you do. Just make the police report and give that information to the company that gave them the loan and the credit bureaus. They'll take care of the rest.
I was also gonna say, like, if it was something that warranted, like, going to DCFS, isn't, like, the hospital obligated to
Yeah, they would
report that?
report it,
So
right?
I wouldn't be worried about that
No, the
piece.
hospital knows that accidents happen sometimes. Kids get into things. So if the hospital didn't look at the injury and be like, oh, this is something that needs to get reported, and
Mhm.
they were just like, yeah, it's fine, then you don't have anything to stress about for blackmail.
Yeah.
Another commenter says, she stole $30,000, potentially ruined your financial future for 7 years, threatened to put your child in a situation where they can be taken and put in foster care for a fucking pontoon boat?
No, but exactly. Like, did they not think this through? Also, did they not think that she would find sorry, I keep saying she, that they would find out, that OP would find out?
Yeah, like they're just
Because
waiting for the day of confrontation.
yeah, even if it was all paid off and she, like, never happened to look at her credit for years, it would still be on her report
Yeah.
that
That's like,
that they took out a loan, like,
that's toxic scum. Toxic
so
sludge.
crazy.
So an update comes a month and a half later. I filed my police report the same day as my first post. The officer and I talked for probably 20 minutes and I printed out a statement from the bank. I spoke with a detective a couple days later for another 20 minutes. Fast forward about 2.5 weeks and my dad called saying my mom has been arrested. He said an officer and a detective showed up at their house asking to speak with her. When she went onto the porch, they grabbed her and arrested her. The detective, same one I talked to, explained they had a warrant. My mom has never been in trouble with the law in her life, and she got arrested for a felony. They tried talking to her, and she immediately requested a lawyer. They stopped asking questions, but didn't let her see a lawyer right away. My dad was furious, but the detective told him to have a lawyer go down to the county jail in the morning before she went to the judge. The next morning, apparently she and the lawyer talked, and she was released in the afternoon with a new court date. About a week later, I get a call from DCFS requesting to meet with Mia about my son. I had nothing to hide, so I agreed. We spoke for about half an hour at my apartment, and I explained the situation. She seemed understanding and told me there was no obvious issues, she just had to follow up on a report. I will say if I'm ever in trouble, I'm hiring her lawyer. The case was dismissed at her next court date in late September. The detective called me the next day and explained the state attorney believed they wouldn't be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt she intentionally stole my identity.
Huh?
He said he figured it was a bullshit reason because he had documents from the bank and the loan company. He said the state's attorney drops a lot of cases, even open and shut ones, especially when it's not violent and they have a hired attorney. She never made a statement other than her attorney telling the detective she didn't do it. He also said the loan company might go after my mom in a lawsuit. What brings me back here is that a couple of weeks ago, the account dropped from my credit. Even better though, I got a letter from DCFS yesterday saying the allegation against me was unfounded. I'm never talking to my piece of trash mom again. Thank you to everyone who gave me advice and hope in my first post. It just sucks that she is probably going to end up with a free boat out of it, unless the loan company sues her, which I hope they do.
That's so crazy. They just let her off.
Okay,
I don't get it. How does that happen?
you know what I don't get is what we recently watched on Netflix
Yeah.
with the Gabby Petito case.
Yeah.
With this,
I just don't get the legal system.
I don't understand it at all. It says
How is there not enough proof?
it said an officer and a detective showed up at their house asking to speak with her. When she went on the porch, they grabbed her and arrested her. And Gabby Petito, how did they never get eyes on Brian? We'll get into that at the end in the life updates section with our Netflix, but I'm so confused on this legal system. But commenter says on this, send the loan company the address where the boat is kept with a photo. I don't think it matters because if it's a personal loan, the loan company doesn't care about the boat. They have nothing to do with what the money was spent on.
Yeah.
They can't prove that the $30,000 that she stole was actually
for the
spent on that boat.
yeah.
So they would just have to sue her, and then she would have to pay whatever she can to get it. Commenter 2, I'm glad you took advice and did the right thing and glad things worked out for you, except for your parents being horrible. To give you a bit of context on the DA, I posted this here before, but I'm not a lawyer, but I've worked professionally with prosecution on a bunch of cases, and going through an entire trial is crazy expensive and time consuming. Like 6 figures and 3 years isn't an uncommon cost.
Eek.
My guess is why this kind of thing doesn't get prosecuted very much ever is because there's basically no chance of recidivism. It's a crime of opportunity where she has very limited opportunities, and it's not likely to deter others from doing it if they make an example of a couple people. So there's no real legal benefit in spending the time and money to prosecute. The loan company probably will sue her, but that shouldn't make you feel better. The loan company issued a loan in your name based on her signature, which they can now prove is her signature, so they must have known they were issuing an illegal loan at the time. If anything, I kind of wish they couldn't recover because, unlike other random parents, other loan companies are likely to stop doing this if enough of them have huge losses from issuing these loans.
I'm a bit confused, not gonna lie.
Okay, basically, from what I understand, it's like there's no point in prosecuting her because to the state, it's a waste of time to set an example out of this person when they had very limited opportunities to do this. She would have to have the bank account joined with her sons in order to commit this kind of fraud
Or
versus
daughters.
versus like a bank robbery or a murder or something. You know what I mean? Like this was a very limited opportunity. So it makes no sense to waste all that money to make and go against somebody who has a lawyer to essentially wasting money to prove a point.
Yeah,
It's better off the loan company should sue her to get their money back,
I see.
or the loan company should stop giving out loans so easily.
I see.
So there was one final update that came 3 months later. I'm happy to say nothing else has popped up on my credit in the last 3 months. What I am really happy to say is the credit card company itself is suing my mom for almost $40,000 according to my aunt.
Nice.
I no longer talk to my mom, but she messaged me on Facebook last week. She had the nerve to ask me both to ask the credit card company to drop the lawsuit and pay half of what they're asking for with the understanding that it'll be paid back at some point. Both of these with the veiled threat that she will call DCFS again if I don't.
Okay.
No and no. She's seen the consequences of her actions.
Jesus. Wow. Wow. She's crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. All right. Back to you.
All right. This one comes from relationship advice. My husband, 29 male, knocked out my brother, 28 male, for calling me, 26 female, a whore. And my parents want me to choose. What is the right choice? As my title says, basically, this past weekend, me and my husband were over at my parents' house for a barbecue. The day was going great until my brother, for some reason, started to have a go at me, calling me names and belittling me. My husband pulled my brother aside and had a talk with him, and the insults stopped. An hour or so later, we were standing around talking with some friends and family members, and my brother came up to me and told me I'm a whore. His exact words were, "You know you're a fucking whore, right?" He said it out loud, enough for almost everyone at the party to hear. All I saw was my husband next to me look at him, then I felt a push to my side, my husband stepping in front of me, and the next thing was my brother out cold on the ground with blood on his face. All I heard is my mother yelling and my husband saying, "You don't talk to my wife like that. I warned you already." Before I continue, my husband didn't hurt me. He didn't push me hard or anything like that. Don't know how to describe it, but it was like a push that someone will give you when you're trying to pass. I went like one step back, that's all. I am not mad at my husband. I'm mad at my brother. The whole day he was demeaning me, insulting me, belittling me. Don't know where this came from, as he's never talked to me like that, or to anyone that I know of. The bigger problem I have is that I have to choose either my husband or my parents. My parents are pissed and have given me an ultimatum. I either leave my husband and divorce him, or they cut me off completely. My husband doesn't give a crap that they are mad. The only thing that he is mad about is that he only got one punch in. I love my husband and don't want to lose him, but I also don't want to lose my parents. They have supported me through a lot and have always been there for me. I know they are serious, as this is the first time they have ever issued me with an ultimatum. They also threatened my husband with assault charges, but he doesn't care and welcome them to do it. I'm stuck between a decision that will change my life forever, and I'm panicking. I receive messages from friends and other family members that have given me support and condemned my husband, but they are leaning more on the support side. Any advice will be appreciated.
Damn. Okay. Let's say that's you.
Yeah,
I would knock the fucking shit out of him personally myself.
I know.
I would do exactly what the husband did.
Yep.
And my only regret is I didn't hit him more than once. So what are you choosing?
If my parents
Yep.
were saying it's them or you,
Yep.
I'm choosing you.
Right?
Not because I love you more, but like, I mean, yes, like you are my person, but because of how unreasonable they are being.
And like, don't you want to have a partner that
That
has
will
your
stick up for
back,
you.
that will defend you?
It doesn't matter who it is.
Exactly.
Y- You need to see past like the relationship that you have with someone and see the shitty things that they are doing and saying and make a reasonable decision based on that. You can't just say this is my son.
Mm-hmm.
I have to love him for his faults.
No.
No, he did a shitty thing. There are consequences to that.
And you as like the wife, it's like, are you going to choose the partner who's going to defend you for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Or are you going to choose the parents who will not be there for your entire life?
Like, I understand what she's saying, that this is like a hard decision.
Totally. I think it's unfair the parents to put that ultimatum on her.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
It's like, do you not want your daughter to be with somebody who's going to stand up for her and to have her back as much as her husband did?
Yeah, exactly. But for me, I don't know. Like, it's kind of an easy decision because it's like, okay, my parents are showing their true colors.
Mm-hmm.
You don't care for me as your daughter. You care more about your son.
Yeah.
So basically, you're choosing your son over me.
Yeah.
In this situation. So that's already shown your true colors.
Exactly. Care more about
It's
your son.
an easy decision now.
Right?
Top comment. Ask your parents why they think you should choose them when they've already made it clear they'll choose your brother no matter what he does to you.
Mm-hmm. Imagine how much other times her brother's done this, but she does say that she doesn't know where this came from. He's never talked to me like this or anyone before. So I would guess it's not a reoccurring thing. So
There's an edit to clarify. I am choosing my husband. I have never questioned that, but I also don't want to lose my family. I am very family oriented, and my family is everything to me. I want to find a solution where I can keep both.
that's rough. You're just stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Like, unfortunately, it wouldn't even be beneficial for you to keep this relationship with your parents because they've already shown their ass.
Unless they apologize.
Like, yeah, unless like they realize that they're wrong and they apologize and they do like a full 180. But otherwise, if they're standing hard on this, I don't even see a reason to want to keep this relationship with them.
Yeah. Damn.
All right.
Am I the asshole for getting mad at a woman for texting me from a Google Voice number? I, 49 male, matched with a woman named Lady, 25 female, on a dating app. We started talking and it seemed like we were getting along very well. After a couple of days, I asked her for her phone number. She gave it to me and we started talking from there. We've been talking for a few days now. Earlier tonight, we were talking and I decided to try to call her. When I did, I realized that the number she gave me was a Google Voice number. I texted her and said, quote, Google Voice? You can't be serious. She texted back asking what I meant. I said, quote, why would you give me a fake-ass Google Voice number? I don't have time for games and I don't like wasting my time. She replied back and said, it's a phone number. What's the difference? I replied and said, it's not a real number. She replied and said, so? Question mark. I told her to hit me up when she's serious, and she replied with, it's not a big deal, but okay. A couple of minutes later, she texted me again and said, hey, I'm really disappointed with how you reacted to me texting you from a Google Voice number. Frankly, your anger about it was a huge red flag for me. It showed a lack of trust and level of control that I'm not comfortable with, especially at this early stage. A simple conversation about it would have been fine, but your reaction made it clear we're not on the same page. I was genuinely interested in getting to know you, but this has completely changed my perspective. I'm no longer interested in pursuing anything romantic. I wish you all the best. I replied back and said, baby, I can't take you serious communicating with you through a fake number. I gave you a real number, so I expected the same from you. Women play too many games over the phone and through the internet. I'm not interested in wasting my time and effort with someone that I don't even know is real, and I need proof that you're real, otherwise, it's pointless. She replied and said, I said what I said. I replied back with, okay, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I won't waste any more time. Have a great rest of your year. She replied back and said, I'm not hurt at all. Plenty more where you came from. Obviously, I dodged a bullet. I replied and said, wow, okay. And she replied back with, okay. Now I'm wondering if I could have handled things differently and if it was really worth getting upset about. I need some outside opinions. So, am I the asshole?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was no reason to be a total dick about it. You literally could have simply been like, hey, why are you using a fake number?
Right?
Maybe because as much as you think women play too many games over the phone and through the internet, how 10 times that there are men on the internet trying to do pretty deranged things to women.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into details, but maybe it's a safety thing.
Right?
Maybe with your little small man brain. Maybe it's not really about you, but it's about her safety. So honestly, she did dodge a bullet, and you are butthurt over that. Okay, also, what is with the age gap?
I was going to say, did you notice the age gap? He's double her age, 49 to 25.
I wonder why she's a little sketched out.
Right?
Maybe using a fake number to verify that this person is who they say they are.
I don't even know what a Google Voice number is.
I don't know either.
But I know there's places out there that they give you like a fake number so that you can message people without them knowing your number. So I just imagine something like that. That's literally so smart.
Yeah, that is so smart.
Like,
Never even thought of that.
I wish I knew of that.
Yeah.
Back in the Tinder days.
Well, why would you have needed it?
You never know who's crazy out there. It's not only men.
No, that's true. That's true.
I feel like anybody. That's a great way to protect yourself.
Yeah. Are you gonna read the top comment?
So one of the best comments that I read, doesn't realize he and his behavior are precisely why women use Google numbers. He is the problem. Lost me at the 20+ year age gap difference, LOL.
Point period blank, like end of conversation.
So I thought that this one slides right into the toxic waste category because OP is
I'm glad this woman also
the toxic waste.
Yeah. I'm glad this woman also like stood up for herself and was like, actually your reaction is
a red flag.
A red flag, and I don't want anything to do with you.
Exactly.
Bye.
Exactly.
Gross. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
All right. Am I the asshole for snapping on my boyfriend when he wouldn't stop bragging about his size? Okay. This is actually the dumbest issue I think I've ever had. I've never used Reddit before, but I see them on TikTok. So this is literally me making this account to ask this stupid question. My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, 20 female, have been dating just around 6 months now. In the past 2, we've started being intimate. Now, for context, my boyfriend is not my first, but he is only the second person I've ever slept with and the first person I've slept with repeatedly. So, in some ways, he is my first in a lot of things. So I noticed that during our first time, it was honestly quite painful. The penetration and the movement was cramping rather than anything pleasurable, and it made me have pain really deep in my stomach for about 3 hours afterwards. I thought this might be a one-time thing, and maybe I just needed more before stuff, so we tried again. Same thing. This proceeded to happen every time we slept together. Eventually, it worried me so much that I went to my doctor. My doctor told me that there was nothing wrong with my diagnosis, except for bruising on my cervix that would go away on its own, and suggested what I thought more before. She also told me that sometimes people can seriously just be incompatible with sizes. I am only 5'1", and she basically insinuated that my boyfriend's size is too large for me. Of course, I went on a Google dive and told my boyfriend this. His reaction, to be flattered, quite literally so impressed with himself. And I have not heard the end of it. Every time we talk about it, He gets this dumb, proud look on his face like, yes, I am so large, we have to do this different. He often brags about it to me in subtle ways, like I haven't been the one to point it out. And the worst part is, he literally will not change the way we do it. I have told him multiple times that slamming into me makes it so much worse, and he'll apologize and say, I forgot, as in, he forgot about his size. He's so proud to say it. I literally have not enjoyed sex with him one single time. So eventually I snapped on him. He kept repeatedly thrusting into me like he does, and it hurt so bad, causing me to snap when I normally wouldn't. I pushed him away rather hard, and he was so offended. Tears immediately started flowing, and I told him to stop letting his dumb big ego get to his head and stop bragging about hurting me and his stupid size. He literally slammed the bathroom door in my face. It was the biggest fight we've ever had. I ended up apologizing and he accepted it, but honestly, the more I think about it, the less I feel like I was in the wrong. So, what do you think?
Yo, fuck this guy. You're not in the wrong. Why would you apologize? What the fuck? His size has nothing to do with him being a piece of fucking shit.
Oh, yeah. At least, I will say, it's only 6 months into this relationship, and you can move on.
I do find it strange that he's 27 and she's 20. Like, 7, it's not the biggest age gap. It's definitely on the maximum for me. But you would think you'd be more mature and
Yeah.
a little bit more
More,
sensitive, been through it a couple times.
Experience.
More experience.
Yeah.
It just sounds like he's a piece of shit who only does
Yeah.
sex for himself and
Exactly.
doesn't care
He's
about
a
his partner.
selfish lover.
He's a selfish person.
A selfish lover.
I was going to say selfish.
Just means like when you have sex, you only care about yourself.
Yeah, I get it, but it just doesn't seem like he has any love to give. So selfish lover
It's just like a
seems...
saying.
I get it. It's just an odd saying because a selfish lover is not even a lover. A real lover cares about their partner.
Okay, I guess, yes. Yeah, I do feel like he probably made her, like he gaslit her
He's been gaslighting her the whole time, yeah.
to apologize. Like she felt like she was in the wrong.
Yeah,
And
she
now
doesn't have the sexual experience. She had sex one time before him.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't have the sexual experience to know what it's supposed to be like. She doesn't know how selfish she's being.
Yeah, he's a complete douchebag. And he quite literally doesn't care if he's hurting you. That is like the biggest red flag. He's proud that he is hurting you.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
He won't stop slamming into me. What the fuck, dude?
So top comment says, I think I would break up with a dude who took more pride in hurting me than mutually beneficial pleasure. He would literally rather injure you to massage his ego. He's selfish, stupid, and he sucks at sex. And I definitely wouldn't reward his cervix-pounding stupidity with your body anymore. You're a human, not a pocket pussy. And the slamming the door in your face because he's mad you got hurt because he's terrible at sex? I hope he's willing to change, but my prediction is that he continues to be an asshole considering you apologized to him.
100%.
So there's an update. Some people in the comments asked, it's been 9 hours since I posted this, and I am just so severely overwhelmed and saddened by what everyone had to say, though I am extremely grateful. I decided to talk to him about this using the frame of, I'm genuinely almost at my wit's end. He listened to everything I had to say, which was basically what everyone here told me to say, and he said he understood, was so sorry, and would genuinely do better. He went on to explain that our issues, per se, have been exclusive to me, and that's why he got all proud of himself. He told me he's now developed this, kink, I guess, which is why he's quote-unquote forgetting. Getting carried away, I guess. I don't know. We didn't talk about that for long because it sounded like an excuse. Nevertheless, he's agreed to genuinely try. I think I'm going to give it one more chance. Thanks to everyone who commented. You have no idea how unexpected and how helpful you have been.
Nah, fuck this guy. Break up. Break up. Divorce.
I'm mad about this update.
Divorce. I don't like this update either.
Is there any other ones?
OP makes a comment, and I can't see what she replied to, but it got downvoted. And she said, because I feel like we could eventually get to the point where it's mutually beneficial. Honestly, it's not worth it. It is not worth it to deal with him.
Do you love him?
He's 7 years older than you, and he can't figure out that it needs to be mutual beneficial. He ain't never gonna figure it
No,
out.
exactly. He's had more experience with you. I mean, than you, because he literally said, "Oh, it's never been an issue with other people." So
Right? That just means that they
he's
fucking
slept with multiple people before.
and they just put up with it, and then they moved on from him. There's a
Yeah.
reason he's available.
Great logic.
If they were close to the same age and he was inexperienced, I would be like, okay, you can eventually get to the point where you're mutually satisfied. But no, there's a reason that he's 7 years older than you and he's available because he's a selfish prick.
I like that. So toxic.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's move on.
Yeah, back to me. My best friend is broke. I've been offering him a job in the restaurant I work in for months, and today he confessed he doesn't want to be a server because it's low, and people'd lose respect for him. I'm deeply offended.
Okay.
This happened just before. My 31 male friend, male 33, is broke. He hasn't worked in over a year. He's running out of savings and has even had to ask his parents to support him. I asked him many times why doesn't he just get a job that's not in his field. He's got a computer science degree but has never worked in the field a single day in his life since graduating. He's turned down lots of jobs because reasons. They don't pay him enough, they won't give him a higher up position right off the bat, etc. I'm well aware he's deluded in that sense, but he has many other good qualities and that's why I love the guy. So, since graduating, the only job he's done is share marketing, something like online investing for Forex. He said he made about $20 a day and that it was enough for him. He's single, lives in a shared house, and doesn't spend much. Whatever makes him happy, right? The thing is, he's totally broke. I don't think he really is making even $20 a day on the shares because he's run out of money. He's stressed out and won't stop complaining about money problems. This is confusing for me, and I think it comes down to his pride not allowing him to get a job that's not fit for his ego. Now, I work as a server in a very nice restaurant and have offered him a job as a server many, many times. I have a great relationship with my boss, and after telling him my friend's situation, he didn't hesitate to say he wanted to help and would like to offer him a full-time job. My friend has been turning it down for months, not really giving much of an explanation. Today, he called me saying his parents have cut him off and asked to borrow money from me. I said that as a personal rule, I do not lend money to anyone, but that he was welcome to start working tomorrow with me. He again turned down the offer, and I got a bit frustrated because I'm offering him a solution to his money problem, but he won't accept it. So we got into a bit of a banter, and he finally confessed that he thinks being a server is low and doesn't get people's respect. I told him respect is earned by getting off your ass and doing whatever you have to make ends meet. I asked him if he thinks I'm low, and he backpedaled, saying he didn't mean I in particular was low, but the job itself was. He then straight out told me nobody can respect me working as a waiter in my 30s. Wow. To be honest, I'm pretty upset. He thinks I am low for working as a server. I got a degree too, but I couldn't find a job in my field, so I had to take the first job I could. I'm not some prissy prick thinking I'm too good to serve others. I take pride in being a waiter and doing a great job. I'm so hurt by his comments. Why is he my friend if he thinks I'm low? I didn't want to say something nasty or get into an argument with him, so I only told him that he was being very offensive and I felt like he needed to take time to think about what he said to me. He replied saying there was nothing to think about. Then he gave me a list of low jobs like street sweeper, cleaner, etc., and said it's a fact those are low, not respected jobs. I asked him to apologize before this snowballed into a full-blown argument, and he said he stood by what he said. I don't want to overreact, but I don't know if I can keep being friends after this. I really don't know what to do. I don't want to badmouth him, but he should examine his life and learn empathy. I'm a very easygoing and forgiving person, but what he said hurt me and was idiotic. The man who refuses to work calling me low? I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's delusion. That's what it is. Yeah, I just don't see his mindset here because he's saying it's low to work a job, but it's not low to like bum off your parents.
Right? Or ask your friend for money.
Yeah, or ask your friend for money.
That's
You'd
even
rather
lower.
do that.
That's even lower.
Your priorities are not in line. You need to realign your priorities and see maybe I think you just need to suck it up.
Yeah.
And people will judge you more if that's what you're so afraid of. People will judge you more for bumming off of other people and not having a job or becoming
But
homeless.
that will stay secret if you bum off other people. They won't know.
Nobody will do it.
So top comment. Honestly, be happy he didn't take the job. Because with that attitude, he wouldn't have lasted long and tarnish your rep with it. Quote, I don't want to overreact. I don't know if we can keep being friends after this. Honestly, don't keep him as a friend. Doesn't seem that you get much out of the friendship anyway. What does this friendship provide you with?
People like this like don't make any sense. Like
People like this are the toxic sludge of the world.
no, truly. People have to do these jobs. And obviously OP loves his job. He literally said he has a university degree.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. He's choosing to be a waiter.
He's choosing not to take those jobs because they won't start him at a higher position.
Exactly.
Right?
Like being a waitress is people do it forever. Like it could be a good paying job. At least in Canada.
Yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes like when we go out to dinner and like we go to like really anywhere and then I tip and I like look at how much I tipped and I was like my tip was like $20 on our bill. And then I'm like, this dude does how many tables an hour? Like 5 or 6 tables an hour. I'm like, dude's making like $100 an hour minus some tip outs and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, there's tip outs.
Like waiters, they make bank. Like a lot of people choose to stay a waiter because waiters make good money.
Yeah. I think it's a respected profession, honestly. Like I don't think a lot of people have this mindset like
Also,
OP's friend.
waiting is hard.
Definitely. It's not an easy job.
Like I've done some bar backs and I always admired the waiters because it's like, dude, I don't know how they can.
I could never do it.
I don't know how you know the menus so well and you know what the different foods are. Like you taste them and like you gotta like memorize that
I
stuff.
know.
Like you gotta deal with snobby people. You gotta deal with people. Like I don't know.
I worked at Gorge for 7 years and I never wanted to be a waitress because I worked as like cutting fruit in the back and I also worked as like a hostess. I started off as a hostess. And literally 7 years. And all of my other coworkers who like were around the same age as me, like they all like asked to be a waitress and stuff. And I like literally I didn't want to because I was like so nervous.
I do not want to talk to people.
It was just so much. Yeah. Also like that. I don't know. It was just so much pressure to me. And I respect it. Like I feel like it is a hard job. It's not an easy job. You have to take like the brunt of people's like bad days.
Right?
It's just like a lot of just stuff that I couldn't do.
When I worked at Moxie's as the bar back, I'd also help with the servers and I would do food running. I always felt so much pressure when I was bringing the food to the table.
Yes.
To like give it to the right person.
Oh my God, yeah.
Reaching across the people to like put it down. I was like, there's always so much pressure, like carrying the food up the stairs because the kitchen was in the basement in the downtown Moxie's location. But like, I always felt so much pressure. And then there'd be like, okay, we're doing a table of like 18. Stay behind me and just put it to the person next. And like, because what servos will do is like wherever you sit at your table, you'll have like a seat number, like 1 through 4. You're at seat 1, 2, and it's like, okay, I got to remember which one was seat 2. I got to put the food down. And then there's always at Moxie's that you had to do the guac in front of them.
Oh my God. That's brutal.
They bring out like they prep it and they put the avocado, the tomato, and then you gotta freshly do the guac. Did you ever have
to do that?
Yeah, I had to do it all the time.
That's scary.
I always felt so much pressure to do it. And I remember this one time, there was like a not perfectly ripe avocado and they're slimy and you try to squish it and it slides up the bowl. It almost went out. It almost went onto the table, but I was able to like eventually get it like mashed. And I'm just like, they're judging me. I'm not doing it fast enough. I'm not looking. This doesn't look right. It always felt like so much pressure. I was like, dude, honestly, I would rather just clear the tables after they left. I'll go clear the tables, no problem. But being the food runner, I felt so much pressure. And the food runners are only there to like help the servers. The servers are doing that majority of the time. And just when they get like larger tables, the food runners will like help, or they'll do like, the server will come like 2 plates and a food runner will come behind him with the other 2 plates. So yeah, so much pressure.
Yeah.
So much pressure.
Yes.
So there's an update to this that comes the next day. In an interesting turn of events, he called me today and said he thought about it and had decided he's willing to accept the job with only one condition, as if he was doing me a favor. That he is to be made manager right off the bat, and that he should move in with me so that I can drive him to work, because the bus from his house to my workplace takes 35 minutes, and that's over an hour of commuting a day. He then suggested I move my youngest daughter into my eldest daughter's room so that it's an empty bedroom for him in my house. So he's obviously had given this some thought.
Oh my God.
I was dumbfounded. The sense of entitlement and level of pride you gotta have to make those demands is astonishing. I know he's never had a proper job, but he's not stupid. He has to know you can't be made manager if you don't even know the names of the dishes or how to serve a coffee. It's all about his pride. He's got a bigger ego than I thought. He can't be humble enough to accept a waiter job and work things out from there. He needs to be made manager so that it won't hurt his pride as much. To be honest, I was so out of words, I said I don't want to talk, and I hung up. I can't explain how off-putting that conversation was. I feel repelled by him. I feel disgusted, as if something has changed inside me. I can't have a person like that in my life. What makes a person refuse all help just out of sheer pride? My wife says that I've been patient and kind enough to him throughout the years, and I should let him figure things out on his own. He really is broke. Before his parents cut him off, they were covering his rent/bills, and he survived on the $20 a day he claimed he was making investing in Forex. I know he barely eats and can't even afford a new pair of shoes and some other stuff. I know he's got no money, but then why doesn't he accept the job? He's not shy, he has no mental health issues, has no problem dealing with people. He's refused many other jobs in the past, even jobs related to his degree, computer science. He's got the wrong idea that he should be given higher positions right from the start because he's him. That's what he deserves. That's the reason he hasn't worked a single day since graduating like a decade ago. Anyway, I've got to do some deep thinking and reevaluate this friendship because I don't like the person he's becoming. His dad is a bus driver and his mother is a retired teacher. They are lovely, humble, down-to-earth people. I think they've done the right thing cutting him off. I know they're both struggling financially, so it's not fair for their son to leech off of them. His mother even had to go back to work doing some tutoring in order to make some extra money to be able to support my friend.
Damn.
I'd be so ashamed if I made my 7-year-old mother go back to work just so I could sit at home dreaming of landing the perfect job while actively doing nothing to get one.
Crazy.
Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry, I'm just so mad. My wife says it's time to cut the cord and distance ourselves from him, and I think she may be right. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, how are you not embarrassed about that part? You're making your 70-year-old mother get a job
It's disgusting.
after she retired.
A toxic, wasteful piece of shit.
Wow, and he's there making demands. Like, he is in the position to make demands.
Right?
That is so crazy delusional.
I could not be friends or want to associate with anybody like this. 10 years you were been out of school and you couldn't get a single job. Can't work your way up.
Right? That's how everybody does it, buddy.
You're delusional, bro.
Nobody gets out of college or university and is landing a 6-figure job.
Yeah. If you don't like that, then maybe create a startup business or something. But you don't have the commitment or the discipline
Probably
for that.
thinks that's low too.
Start your own company?
Yeah.
How?
I'm just jumping, but
That's a big jump over there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Gotta call you out on that one.
Alrighty.
Oh, toxic piece of shit.
Yeah. All right, me?
Yeah.
Am I overreacting? My fiancé isn't invited to the wedding because the bride doesn't want people thinking she is prettier than her. My 26 male, lifelong best friend, 26 male, is getting married later this year. When he first got engaged, he asked me to be one of the groomsmen. I obviously accepted, and we have been excited for the wedding and to see my best friend get married. His fiance, 26 female, and my fiance, 25 female, have always gotten along really well. The four of us hang out pretty frequently, always have a great time, and there has never been any problems. My fiance has always considered her a friend and has been extremely happy for them and excited about their wedding. His fiance has even asked my fiance for her thoughts and suggestions on certain decor for the wedding, venues, colors, things like that. The official wedding invitations were sent out recently, and when it arrived at our house, I noticed it was only addressed to me and also didn't say anything about a plus one. I was kind of surprised by this because I had been assuming that my fiance would be invited, given the fact that I have been with my fiance for 4 years, longer than he has been with his fiance. He has been my best friend since preschool. The four of us hang out all the time, and some of my family members received invitations to the wedding. But before jumping to conclusions, I thought maybe none of the groomsmen or other friends of the bride and groom are allowed to have plus ones due to costs or things like that, since weddings are obviously expensive. The other groomsmen are all friends of mine and his, so I called them to see if their significant others were also not invited. Turns out, every single one of them received an invitation that included their significant other, and the bridesmaids all got to bring their significant others as well. So at this point, I called him to let him know that I got my invitation, but that my fiance was not included on the invitation, and I asked if there was just an error or they forgot to include her on it. That's when he informed me that his fiance doesn't want my fiance coming to the wedding because she doesn't want all of the guests thinking that my fiance is prettier than her. Now, I will say, my fiance is insanely gorgeous. If I had a penny every time someone asked me how I managed to get her, I would be a billionaire. On the other hand, his fiance isn't the most conventionally attractive woman. I feel bad for saying that, and it's something I have never said out loud to anyone. But for context of the situation, I wanted to include that here. I told him that I know it's my wedding, so I don't get to pick the guest list, but I think it's a bit unfair and ridiculous that my fiance, who they are friends with, is the only significant other of the whole entire wedding party that doesn't get to come to the wedding because his fiance is worried about people thinking she is prettier than her. I told him that his fiance is the bride, so everyone is going to be looking at her and no one is going to be focusing on my fiance, who isn't even a bridesmaid, so she's not even going to be standing up in front of everyone. He said that he agrees with me and that he already tried multiple times to explain to his fiance, but that she won't budge and she is insistent that everyone will think my fiance is prettier. So I ended up telling him that I cannot be a groomsman or attending the wedding then, because in my eyes, it's not fair to my fiance for me to attend or be in a wedding where she is the only significant other not invited due to the bride's own insecurities. He's upset with me now and thinks I'm overreacting, but I just don't think that this is fair. My fiance told me not to worry about her and that I should be part of my best friend's big day, but even with my fiance being completely fine with me going, I honestly don't want to be around the bride.
That's fucked. Yeah, I'd be out. There's no way I'm going. I'm sorry you're so jealous and insecure. Like, newsflash, there will always be someone
There will
better looking
always
than you.
be someone prettier, better, smarter. Like, there will always be. You can't live your life like this.
That's
This is
fucking
so
toxic.
crazy. How are you okay with hanging out with them, going out in public places?
Yeah, that's the most messed up part is like they're genuine friends. She's asked for her opinion on the wedding.
I think this girl needs really intense therapy because for her to actually believe that everyone at the wedding is going to be just like oogly eyes over this person who's not even a part of the wedding, who is just simply a guest, and they're only going to be looking at her and not the bride.
That's a big social, like, mental issue. Like, I agree. Like,
Yeah.
you need therapy for that.
There's no, I don't know. Like, and it kind of sucks that the OP's friend is like not sticking up for him enough. I know
It's
he's like,
Well, it's like
I'm trying,
it's
but
like he tried, but then it's still his fiance. But like,
but it's still your wedding too, and this is your
Yeah.
best friend,
exactly.
and you guys are all friends.
Right? So, like, how do you go out in public?
How exactly?
There's always someone who looks better than you out in public.
Yeah. And how do you go out with her?
That sounds exhausting. To be her fiance, that sounds
Right?
exhausting.
That is so true. I couldn't imagine.
Do you think he has to deal with her asking him all the time, like, do you think this person's prettier than me?
Probably.
That just sounds exhausting.
I couldn't imagine feeling this way at all. At all. Bro, If I thought that they were going to be prettier, there would be no women at my wedding. If I thought, no, literally, at least your sisters would not be invited. I'd be like, no, you're not coming. No, but like, come on. This is like a truly insane ask. Not even an ask. It's a demand. Like it's not even a request. It's just like she calls the shots.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really a demand. It's like an exclusion.
Yeah, a dictate. She dictated.
Dictated the wedding.
Well, I mean, yeah, she
Dictatorship?
is in control of the guest list, but like so is he. It's their wedding.
She vetoed that invite. She's like, nope, she ain't coming. Veto.
They must have had a conversation where like to like
The thing that gets me is it's like, okay, honey, I understand that you don't want this person at the website for A, B, and C.
the website.
The wedding. Words are hard. I understand that you don't want her at the wedding for reason A, B, and C. But how do you think this is going to go over?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
If we send out the invites.
Yeah.
And we invite my best friend that I've known for preschool.
You have to think about the
And we don't invite
consequences.
the fiance who we hang out with all the time. How do you think that that's going to be okay for that relationship?
Yeah.
How do you think other people are going to feel when they find out that we didn't invite her? And the reason is because you think she's prettier. How could you? But like, okay, but like honestly, how does somebody ever actually even admit that? Like,
Yeah.
it's one thing.
No, I know.
Okay, it is one
That's
thing.
what I was thinking.
If you feel
That's
that
so
way.
embarrassing.
But that's a whole nother level of confidence
Yeah.
to not invite someone to your wedding because of that.
Yeah.
So like,
It just truly shows how insecure you are. Like,
yeah. On one point though, I'm kind of like, I'm a little in awe of her confidence to
like
do this.
you're so confident, but you're also so insecure at the same time. It's weird. It's like contradicting.
How audacious of you to do that.
Yeah.
What a freaking paradox.
It's like,
kind of.
yeah.
That's funny.
Top comment. Don't go, dude. Also inform him he will not be invited to yours either. Even though your fiance is telling you to go, don't. It's about showing people that she is your person, your top priority, and if she is disrespected, then so are you.
Exactly. Your team. We are a freaking team over here.
We are like this.
Oh, what's up?
That was awkward.
Okay. Did you finish your comment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
Back to me.
Great. Okay.
Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she publicly humiliated my son?
So many wedding ones.
I know, right? A few months ago, my sister, let's call her Jane, got engaged and started planning her wedding. Jane is 37 years old. Growing up, we were always close, sharing secrets and supporting each other through life's ups and downs. However, Jane has always had the tendency to be backhanded and passive-aggressive. She would make snide remarks under the guise of concern and often find subtle ways to belittle me and others. Despite this, I, 34 female, always tried to maintain a good relationship with her, believing that deep down she cared for me. This all came to a head during a recent family gathering at Jane's house. My son Liam, who is 7 years old, has a bladder issue that sometimes causes him to have accidents. We've been working with doctors and trying our best to manage it, but it's a sensitive topic for him. During the gathering, Liam had an accident. He was embarrassed, and I was in the process of helping him clean up when Jane noticed. Instead of being understanding and discreet, Jane loudly pointed it out in front of everyone. She said things like, "How disgusting," and "At his age, this is unacceptable." She even went as far as to say that Liam should be ashamed of himself and criticize me for not getting him under control. Her comments made Liam burst into tears, and I quickly took him home to comfort him.
What the fuck?
As I was gathering our things to leave, Jane came over, still clearly upset. She asked me why I was leaving. I looked at her, trying to keep my voice calm for Liam's sake. "Jane, I think it's best if we go home. Liam is very upset right now." Jane rolled her eyes at me and said, "Oh, come on, it's just an accident. He needs to learn how to handle these things better. You can't coddle him forever." My patience was wearing thin, but I tried to explain again. "Jane, Liam has a medical condition. We're working with doctors, and it's a sensitive issue for him. Your comments just now were very hurtful. Your comments just now were really hurtful. She says, I was just telling the truth. He needs to toughen up. You're not doing him any favors by babying him. At this point, I was furious, but didn't want to escalate the situation in front of Liam. I took a deep breath and said, we'll talk about this later, Jane. Right now, I need to take care of my son. Without waiting for a response, I gathered Liam and headed to the car. On the drive home, I couldn't shake the image of Jane's face and her harsh words. This wasn't the first time she'd made Liam feel bad about his condition. Each time, I had hoped she would understand and show some empathy, but it seemed like she was only getting worse. The next day, I called Jane to talk about what happened. This conversation is from what I can remember. I wanted to explain again, away from the heat of the moment, and hoped she would see reason. Quote, Jane, about yesterday, I need you to understand how your words hurt Liam. He's already struggling, and your comments made him feel even worse. Instead of apologizing, Jane was very defensive. Quote, I'm not going to apologize for telling the truth. You need to stop coddling him, and he needs to learn to deal with the real world. Her response was like a punch to the gut. I had hoped for some empathy, some understanding, but it was clear she wasn't going to give it. I said, Jane, I don't think you understand how serious this is. He has a medical condition. It's not something that he can just toughen up from. She told me, look, I have a wedding to plan. I don't have time for this drama. When Jane's wedding invites went out, I received one, but I felt conflicted. On one hand, she's my sister, and it's a significant event in her life. On the other hand, I couldn't forget how she humiliated my son and her refusal to apologize. After much thought, I decided to decline the invitation. I didn't feel comfortable celebrating with someone who had been so cruel to my child. When Jane found out, she was livid. She accused me of trying to ruin her special day and called me petty and overdramatic. Some family members sided with her, saying I should let go for the sake of family harmony, while others understood my decision and supported me. This wasn't the first time Jane had done something like this. She has a history of making hurtful comments about Liam's condition, and generally lacks sensitivity when it comes to his medical issues. Each time, I've tried to address it calmly, hoping she would eventually understand and be more considerate. Unfortunately, she never changes, and her behavior continues to hurt my son. Jane has been blowing up my phone, including other family members. Now, I'm left questioning if I'm the asshole refusing to go to my sister's wedding. I don't want to cause family drama, but I also feel strongly about standing up for my son. This wedding is just the latest incident in a long line of hurtful behavior from Jane, and I'm not sure how much more I can take. So, am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding after she publicly humiliated my son?
Absolutely not. I think people like this are just similar to the last story, are just like so insecure that they are projecting their insecurities onto other people. Like people who are just constantly hurtful and putting other people down.
Right?
It just shows that the person that you are, and it's
Like
like you're an ugly person inside.
How would you like if you had somebody over your shoulder every single time you made a mistake? They just ripped on you.
And that's probably where she got it from. Like maybe someone did this to her and now she's...
That's true. Maybe parent and uncle did that to her growing up.
But still, you have to be self-aware in the fact that like I know it's obviously easier said than done, but like when trauma was brought onto you, like you have to do everything you can to like just be self-aware and break that trauma. And
I did read one time that there's actually a human phenomenon that people who go through rough childhoods think that other people should have to experience what they went through.
Yeah.
Like if
Otherwise it's not fair.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could totally see
And
it.
it is not fair that some people
Had to go
through it and some people didn't.
But you're just repeating the cycle when you put that onto other kids.
Yeah. I would say like more times than not, people would rather, I agree. Like people would rather put other people down and make kind of like put everyone at the same
Bring that person down to their level.
Yeah. So it's equal.
I always I heard it one time and I've always like stuck by it. If you want to have the tallest building in the city, you could either A, tear down everybody else's buildings, or B, make your building the tallest. And it kind of always resonated with me where it's like you could always try to tear other people down, or you can always just try to build yourself up to be the best person that you can be.
I love that. Wow, so deep.
I always love that. It's always stuck with me. So there's a top comment. You need to do more as his parent. Quote, we're no longer attending gatherings with Jane owing to the negative impact she has on my son.
I would agree 100% because it's also, if you continue to be around her, she's not going to stop. There's going to be another incident, and this is not doing any benefit to your son, him being around her.
I'd be like, Jane, it's not that we're not coming to your wedding. We're just not going to see you anymore.
We're not doing life with you anymore.
Any family function that you are at, we will not be attending. It is not an attack on your wedding. This is a repercussion of your actions against you. Nothing to do with your wedding, but any event you're at, we're out.
Yeah.
So there's an update. Hi all, it's been a few hours since I made my last post, but I wanted to say thank you for all the love going to my son Liam. It truly means the world, and I wanted to address some things. 1. The reason I bring Liam to these gatherings is because he loves his cousins. He enjoys spending time with family. 2. Liam doesn't like wearing pull-ups or diapers of any form. This is why I haven't necessarily been using them. That's an interesting take. I mean, if like he doesn't like wearing the pull-ups and diapers, how do you balance that?
I feel like as a kid, that makes sense to me because as a kid, it's not like normal to be wearing a diaper.
Yeah,
All your friends are, potty trained. Like you were taught that at a younger age. So
and it would be like uncomfortable when you get that old.
And kind of obvious, I think, too.
You can see them.
Yeah.
Probably would rather risk having an accident than knowing people will notice the diaper right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Poor guy. It's tough. Now to further update. I've talked to Liam about what happened. I told him that it wasn't his fault at all, and that Aunt Jane was being very rude and inconsiderate. I told him that he's an amazing boy, and to never let anyone say otherwise. My son was very happy to hear this. He told me that what Jane had said had hurt his feelings a lot, and I completely understood. I asked him if he wanted to continue to go to these family events. He said no. I fully supported his decision. My son comes first, and the comments have helped me realize that I've let Jane walk all over me with this fear of causing a tear in the family. Now, I'm going little to no contact with Jane. I'll send her the occasional holiday message, but that's it. I cannot be around someone who hurts my son. Bro, you wouldn't even be getting a Merry Christmas.
I know.
I felt as if I had failed as a mom, and the comments have truly opened my eyes. So thank you all. As for the people in my family who supported my sister, I have blocked them all. I refuse to allow people to agree with her mentality to be involved in my son's life. I love my son with all my heart, and I would do anything for the little guy. I think that I should have put a stop to it sooner, and I regret not doing that. However, I know that I can be a better mom, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I messaged the family that was contacting me in a mass group chat and told them that we would no longer be coming to any family events. If they wanted to see my son, they would have to come individually, or the event would be hosted by me. I also told them that my sister's behavior needs to be fixed, because that was the reason our family is being torn apart. Not because I'm not going to her wedding, but because she decided to make fun of my child. My mother is on my side and fully supports my decision.
Nice.
My father is stuck in the middle, and for what I think, I should go low contact with him too. I'm going to keep in touch with y'all and keep the updates coming whenever I can. All I know is that even if she gives my son the apology he deserves, I want nothing to do with her. I don't want her around my son.
Yeah. No, it's done. Damage is done. There's no coming back from this. And, I was thinking, like, it's one thing for, like, kids to be mean to your kid.
It's one thing if a cousin was mean
and said something. Like, I think it's easy to tell your kid, like, oh, that person is just being mean or whatever. Like, you have to ignore him. But when it's coming from an adult, like, I just remember myself as a kid, I thought adults could do no wrong. Like, they were the mature They were an adult. They knew everything.
Yeah, they knew
They've
everything.
lived longer lives. Like, they knew everything. So if, like, I could only imagine, like, hearing comments from, like, an adult. I could only imagine it's gonna stick with that kid forever, probably.
Right?
Because you just, I don't know, like, at least for me, you hold them at the standard that, like, they know more.
The elder.
Yeah.
Always. It's an interesting dynamic.
That makes me so sad for him.
I just like, how much of a piece of shit do you have to be to
Truly.
make fun of a 7-year-old like that?
Truly.
What good do you think you're doing? The one part where she says, my father is stuck in the middle, and for that, I think I'd go low contact with him too. Yeah, I mean, any person that would side with her, I'd be like, yeah, we're low contact. How could I continue having contact with you?
Yeah.
One more update. Hi, everyone. It's been a couple months since I made my update post, so I figured I should update once more if anyone is still interested. My sister Jane got married on December 4th, and it has been such a roller coaster. I did not go to the wedding, nor did I go to any after party or gathering they had. I'm not at all interested in any of their plans. From what I heard, red wine was spilled on her dress, which in turn ruined the photo. Guess karma's a bitch. Anyways, I ended up taking Liam to the mall and just spent the entire day with him. I bought him some new Lego sets, clothes, and basically everything he wanted. My boy deserves to be spoiled. Before anyone asks, yes, he still has his bladder issues. However, yes, we managed to get him used to wearing pull-ups and other things to manage his accidents. A lot of people sent me messages regarding certain things to use, and honestly, it really helped a lot. I checked a few of them before I logged out of this account. It wasn't easy getting him used to the change, but Liam understood that it was for the best and learned to use them. He hasn't really complained about anything so far. Now the big question is, what's going on with my sister? Like I said, she got married and all, blah, blah, blah. According to her maid of honor, she was a real bridezilla. So glad I wasn't there. I feel bad for her fiancé since he's a really nice guy.
He chose her.
Right? He's putting up with it. It's his own decisions. He made a choice. I am still no contact with her or anyone in my family that supported her. My mother has been my rock. It hasn't been that hard to adjust, actually. My father has been cut off as well. My father and I never got along, so it isn't a loss to me. I fully believe that he is the reason my sister acts the way that she does. My sister has tried to reach out to me a couple of times. Most of them were just her berating me for not going to the wedding, and the others were half-assed apologies. I could honestly care less about what she says. I read Liam some of the comments, and guys, you made him the happiest little boy on earth. His birthday was actually 4 days ago. He's now 8 years old. We had a nice Lego theme party for him since he loves Legos. My mom and a few cousins were invited, along with his school friends. He had an accident during the party, but finally, no one was there to berate him for something he can't control.
Aww. It's a happy ending.
I wonder if her parents are together or divorced.
Right?
It's like, was able to cut her dad off, but her mom has been her rock. I would think that would be difficult to do if they were still together.
I agree. Yeah, I'm going to imagine divorced.
Yeah. That's it. Wrapped up.
Sad.
That's all I got.
Okay, title is, my boyfriend, 24 male, threatened to break up over Miss Dior and now won't talk to me, 22 female, because I left. This is coming from relationship advice. My boyfriend and me have been together for almost 2 years now. Aside from some small bumps in the road, we have been in a very good place throughout the whole relationship. However, last night things escalated over, in my opinion, something super dumb. But he thinks differently of that, and now stopped talking to me. It started when we were on the bed. He was gaming and I was on my laptop looking to order a new perfume. Since I stopped my job to focus on studying, I don't have as much income, so I decided to not get the expensive perfume I usually go for, Miss Dior. I thought it'd be better to find a body spray with a resembling scent. As he was looking over my shoulder, he asked me what I was doing, so I explained. He then reacted, saying I wore Miss Dior in our first period of dating, and it is, quote, my smell, and how it was one of the things that attracted him to me. I must admit that this made me a bit annoyed, because I'd rather get that perfume too, but it's just not a responsible thing to do right now. He started rambling on how I care more about saving money than I care about him. I said that's not true, but then he kept saying his hypersensitivity issues can't deal with adjusting to a new scent. I said I had to find a scent similar to my old one, but he wasn't content. At this point, he said he'd have to break up with me if I would go for another scent. I found this hilarious and thought he surely must be joking, so I laughed, which made him go silent. I let him be because I was really annoyed, and we went to sleep. Now he left early morning and doesn't respond to my texts or calls. I have no idea what to do, and I'm starting to doubt how I handled the situation. Any advice?
No,
Advice? Break up.
Yeah, I can't imagine me being like, I'm only interested in you because of the perfume that you use, and you are never allowed to use any perfume other than that one. But like, and like at the most, if that is a thing, and
Buy it.
exactly,
Buy
if
it for
I'm
her.
like, I need you to smell like this, honey, don't worry, I'll get it for you.
She literally cannot afford it.
I feel like there's nothing, maybe there's not that much wrong with being like, oh, I love that perfume
Yes.
smell. How about I get that for you?
Yes, exactly.
I feel like even then, there's a fucking yellow flag in there.
It's controlling.
It's controlling. It's like, you only like me if I smell like this certain way. It's controlling. But at the very bare minimum, if you want to be that controlling person, then you need to offer to buy it yourself. You're a toxic controlling person if you're like, you need to buy it.
Even though you're a student and have zero income.
Exactly. Yeah, that stuff's $260 from Sephora.
Yes, Dior.
I can't believe that. Would you like some? Like,
I've never smelled. I don't wear perfume.
like, I know, right? Like, if you were a perfume person and I saw you put on different scents, that would be like a gift item for Christmases and stuff that I would be like, oh, maybe she'd like a different scent or a new one or something like that. But like, you never put on that stuff. But like, I never put on that stuff either.
Yeah.
Like, Kat bought me some Jaguar cologne like 7 years ago. It's full bottle in my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I very
You actually
rarely.
did put some on the other night.
I did. Why did I do that?
Was it Valentine's Day?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
I know why I put it on.
Why?
I put on one of the dress shirts that were in my closet.
It
that
smelled?
not smelled,
Oh.
but like it hadn't. When I was working, they used to get washed and rotated
Oh, yeah,
regularly.
yeah.
That one's just been sitting in there for like 1.5 years that just hasn't been washed or worn in 1.5 years. So I was just like, just freshen this up a little bit. And it's Valentine's Day. We'll just throw a little bit.
Yeah.
I used to wear stuff a lot when I was in school, and then
Me too, in school.
I just got over it. I was like, I don't care. Like, natural smells.
I think it's just like an
fine.
expense that I don't need.
It's just a waste. There's one here that says a special edition for $5,500.
Huh?
It comes in a little box. It's the same size. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Wow. I mean, like, I like perfume on other people, but I guess I just don't care that much. Like,
when we build the house and we have the nice walk-in closet, we'll make sure there's a little perfume section for you, and then maybe I would buy you things more as like it's nice to look at, not I care if it's used or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me, I just don't value.
I don't value. I put no value on that stuff. When I was in high school, I got the Hummer H2 cologne. Used to be my favorite one. Hummer. I don't know. It's like the vehicle Hummer.
Oh, okay.
They had like a Hummer cologne. It was like in a cool little shaped bottle, like the H. And
so manly.
Yeah, it felt manly. I loved it. And then I think I got the Ferrari. I got the Ferrari cologne at one point too, like that. That's what I used to wear in high school.
I only ever wore the Britney Spears perfume, specifically the purple bottle. If anybody knows, please drop it in the comments. I had the pink bottle too. My mom used to love the pink bottle, but I would only ever wear I don't remember what it was called, but
my high school, everybody wore the Axe body spray. That was
Midnight. Sorry.
My high school era was prime Axe body spray era. That's when it came about. And everybody had to have a can of Axe spray in their locker. But you had to have it in your locker because it only lasted for like 30 minutes. Like you had to respray yourself a couple times.
Yeah.
But I like the better colognes because those would I would just put a little bit on my wrists and I would dab it and it would last a lot longer.
Yeah. I also used the women's Axe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, there's a top comment that says, that was a difficult decision, but the right one. I don't know where you live, but in the UK/Ireland, Aldi does a great Miss Dior dupe on occasion. It's called Perfect Pink. OP replies, we do have an Aldi here, so I'm going to check it out. Thank you.
I will say that the bottle and the pink fluid on the inside.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
All right, there's an update. Wow, first of all, thanks everyone who gave me advice and some tough love. I did not expect so many of you to help me and definitely teared up at some of your replies. After I posted this, I was a bit of a mess, but after hours of ignoring me, he texted me late in the evening and asked me to meet up because he does not want us to be in a bad place. I really wanted to talk to him, at least to clear things up, so I went to his place. When I got there, he acted a bit disappointed still, but he said he didn't want us to fight. I felt the same, but also took your advice to heart. The idea of letting him buy a bottle. However, for some context, I do think he might be on the spectrum. No diagnosis, but his dad is too, and it makes sense. So I did want to show him I care and take his hypersensitivity seriously. Therefore, I decided to suggest we pay half and half for a new Miss Dior, and then until that one would be finished, I'll make sure to do research to find a really good dupe. He was not as convinced. Told me it wasn't my birthday anytime soon. I explained that I understood, but we'd have to both compromise. Well, to quote his literal words, quote, "If you're such a feminist, you should be so financially too." This got me fuming. I had no words, so this time I left. As per your advice in the replies, I did some thinking about the rest of our relationship. I realized other things in our relationship that at the time didn't sit quite right with me were situations of him being controlling and self-concerned. Situations I always considered as little things he'd mean differently or would learn from. I was wrong. You were right. I asked him to meet up today and I dumped his ass. I feel terrible right now, but I know I'm better off. So any advice for a cheap, nice body spray?
Just use your natural BO. You don't need a body spray. Just get a deodorant. That's all you need. You don't need to be like smelling fancy for nobody. You shower, you shower and you wear deodorant. That's all you need to do. Everything else is fugazi.
Fugazi.
Fluff and puff.
Now I'm like, I kind of want to get into scents.
Me too.
This is like...
You want to buy it?
Miss Dior. No, I'm not spending that much money. Are you crazy?
I'll get it. If we weren't building a house, I would have already like checked out on Amazon.
What, the Miss Dior one for me?
Yeah, it was pink.
Oh.
It looked really cute. You know I'm a sucker for anything pink.
I know.
Yeah, don't fuck this guy. Bro, if you're such a feminist, then you should be buying it for me, or maybe not. I don't know about feminist or anything, but if you want me to smell like that, you should be fucking buying it for me. I don't know if that's feminism or not feminism. It doesn't freaking matter. It's principle. You want something to smell something to smell something like that, you buy it.
Agreed. Your words.
Words are hard.
Alrighty, back to you.
All right, this is going to be my last one. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my girlfriend over a 4-leaf clover? Some background. I, 21 female, and my now ex-girlfriend, female 22, have been together for 2 years, and last spring we decided to go on a 4-leaf clover hunting date. She didn't find any, but I found 3 of them. Ever since I was young, I've had special luck with finding them. I have a collection of them, actually. I find them without even looking. M, my ex, has also been searching for 4-leaf clovers since she was young, but she's never found one, ever. So naturally, I brag about it. It's always been like a fun little playful thing between us. I'm just luckier than her, I guess. Anyway, to yesterday, the problem. We went on our 4-leaf clover date again. Within the first 10 minutes, she finds her first ever 4-leaf clover. We cheer. I take her picture with it. I'm happy for her, but I'm also upset because I wanted to have been the one who found the first one. It's my thing. We keep looking for another 10 minutes and I find one. So I hate life a little less. I find another. She cheers for me and we move on, looking at different clover patches. This is where everything goes to actual hell for me. I hear her yell excitedly and I think she's just found another one. I tell her cool and move on. She runs up to me and shows me a fucking 6-leaf clover. I just stare at her. I grab it out of her hand. What the fuck? How does someone who has never found a 4-leaf clover find a 6-leaf clover? Those odds are literally insane. I look at it closely to make sure that she's not either lying just to get at me or that she's not stupid and it's actually just 2 cloves stuck together or something. But no, it's an actual 6-leaf clover. I'm actually so pissed. Why did she get to find the 6-leaf clover? Hello? Who finds a 6-leaf clover?
I'm dead.
So anyway, I tell her that's insane and I'm taking it. She gets sad and says, "Nuh-uh, she found it, it's hers." We start arguing about who deserves the clover. I tell her I do because I'm a veteran clover hunter and deserve this to be in my collection. She goes on about it being sentimental or something. She does that stupid manipulation tactic where she starts fucking crying to make me feel bad. It's bullshit, honestly. I tell her to suck it up. I'm keeping the clover. She huffs and wanders off to the car in tears. Whatever, she's being ridiculous.
Yeah, she is.
I take my time and look around more and find 2 more clovers. I got bored and decide to leave and see if she's done pouting. She sat in the fucking back seats with her arms crossed. I tell her to stop being dramatic and to get into the front seat. So she fucking snaps. She starts screaming, calling me all sorts of nasty names. She said I'm manipulative, controlling, and all kinds of other bullshit. I have never in my entire fucking life been called any of these words, so I'm not sure where she got them from. I just looked at her while she screamed and hit the back of my seat. She finished screaming like an idiot, and I let a few minutes of silence go by. She asked me if I was going to say anything. I shrugged at her, because, like, what does she want me to say? She told me to go fuck myself and to take her home. I shrugged again and pulled out with her in the back seat. She lives a decent drive from the park where we went clover picking, so the car ride was tense and awkward. She just randomly sniffled and it started to get on my nerves, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to hear her bitch anymore.
Oh my
About
God.
15 minutes into a ride, I decided I couldn't have this anymore. This isn't the first time this has happened. She is so selfish and never lets me have anything to myself and never listens to my side of things. She always does this type of crying shit and then says she just wants me to be nice to her, which I am. I don't know. So anyway, we're 15 minutes into the ride and I speak up and tell her I think we need to break up. She lets out a noise like scoffing at me, and I didn't like that, so I just decided to give it to her. I told her how I think she should have given me the clover because it was the right thing to do, and she is incredibly selfish for not wanting to give it up and see me happy. She stayed silent until we got to her house. As she was getting out of the car, she told me that I'm the biggest asshole that she's ever encountered and she can't believe she let herself love me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not an asshole. I don't think I am. I told my friend about this and he thinks we're both assholes. So I don't know. I need more opinions. Here's a link to the picture of the 6-leaf clover so you'll know I'm not bullshitting.
Wow.
Okay, but if you're on YouTube and you're looking at the image, how is this a 6-leaf clover? This looks like a fucking 4-leaf clover. You have 2 clovers that are
Overlap.
inside. They're like overlapped. Like number 4
Can we
is
see it without all
inside
the
number
drawing?
5. Yeah, no, I guess not. They need to highlight it. So this looks like a 4-leaf clover to me. I'm not seeing the 6 here. So, okay.
That's interesting. Anyways, she is right. I've never, ever heard of a bigger asshole than this guy. Like, truly? I don't think we've ever read a story that has a bigger asshole.
Yeah, OP is coming in on the toxic waste side about this.
This is the worst one.
You go. Okay, first off, clover hunting, cute date, cool. I couldn't imagine staring at the ground looking for clovers for fucking hours.
Could have been me.
I'm sorry if I
okay.
offended you. It couldn't be me. Sounds like a cute date though. I used to look for 4-leaf clovers in the
I
ground.
did too. At
Spent
my
like
nunna's house.
30 seconds and I was over it. I was like, yeah. I remember them being in the field. I'm like, I'm gonna search 1,002 clovers.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna look on the ground, see if I see any. I'm moving on. I'm walking.
Yeah.
Oh, she finds it and he comes up and he's like, I'm a veteran, or she's a veteran clover hunter. It's mine. And then you just take it. She found it. You have no rights to it.
This man hates her.
Oh, it's a girl.
Oh, he's a girl?
Yeah, they're both girls.
Oh, they're both girls.
Yeah.
She hates her.
Like,
She hates her.
how
No,
you say she's selfish? You're selfish. You stole it from her. She fucking found
I
it.
can't believe like the backwards like
Mentality on
I
this.
don't get it.
This is narcissism typed out.
Oh, no, it is. I actually think she is like
This is
everybody
narcissistic
calls people
POV.
narcissism, but like I'm certain me who has no psychological.
I'm confident.
She is a diagnosed narcissist. Well,
Undiagnosed.
Undiagnosed narcissist. If she went to a doctor, she would be diagnosed.
Right?
Because this is insane behavior. A couple things that just jump out at me that makes me already think that she hates her, even before this whole 4-leaf clover thing. When she said, I needed to check it out for myself because I didn't know if she was lying or if she was dumb. Or if she was just that stupid.
Yeah, who says that about their partner?
Yes. That, like, you have no respect for her.
Right?
You literally don't care about her.
Exactly.
And then, I don't know, just the fact that she's like, oh, she's always doing this crying thing. She's always like manipulating me into making me feel bad. You should feel bad.
You should, dude.
You should. You manipulated her.
And you stole.
You stole it from her. What she found. Oh my God, this is wild, actually.
Crazy.
This is so toxic. How is this like 2 years? How can you spend 2 years with a person like this?
Right?
I would lose my mind.
I feel like a lot of people don't know when to leave a relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know when a good relationship is and when a bad relationship is, and they get sucked into the fact that they're in a relationship and it's hard to leave. And that just makes me think of the Gabby Petito thing that we're going to talk about at the end. And it's
so true.
You don't know when you're in such a bad relationship.
Because I think like a lot of times, like a lot of people say like, you know, marriage is hard. You have to work on it. Like there's always like there's no perfect couple and like you got to like both work on things. So I think people take that as like everybody's relationship is like this.
That's not a relationship. That is when you are with someone for 20 plus years. Yes, you have to put in work because people change throughout time. That's when you have to like put in the work. A relationship that's 2 years old, it should be nothing but honeymoon phase. It should be
truly
majority just well syncing. Everything is clicking, 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 clicking. And when you need to put in the work is when everything has been smooth for so long, but now you're getting older and things are changing with marriage. That's when you kind of like need to make some pivots and some adjustments.
Yeah.
You don't need to be struggling to make a relationship work within 2 years. Like it should just be free flowing. If you're having all of these issues, that's not someone that you want to be with for the rest of your life.
I mean, and it's also not to say that like relationships should be perfect in that timeline.
No, but they should be easy.
It should be easy.
They shouldn't
like
be
if you don't like
hard.
something, like for example, like we've talked about many times, like how like in the beginning of our relationship, like communication was like an issue, but like we worked through it. It wasn't perfect.
We almost didn't work through it. There was one point I almost broke up with Teresa because I was like, we're different. This is can't handle this, and maybe I'm contradicting myself.
You kind of are now.
I don't know a shit about fuck, man.
Where is the line?
I don't know.
As Denver likes to say, where is the line?
Where is the line for
We don't know.
Where is the line for the easy flow relationship? But for us, everything outside of that one issue was really easy flowing.
Yeah.
You just got too worried about me, which, to be fair to Teresa, she was worried about me dying on a crotch rocket motorcycle going 184 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
So that's a merit.
I agree. I still stand by my argument.
Had some merit to it.
Anyways, we're not really trying to give relationship advice. I guess we kind of are, but like we can't really say where the line is, but you shouldn't be feeling terrible all the time.
I feel like it shouldn't be a fucking mental struggle.
It shouldn't be that hard.
It should
There will be bumps in the road.
It should be joy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough.
You shouldn't have to work so hard.
Yeah.
You work after 20 years of marriage. That's when you put in the work. Top comment. You need to do some personal work, like maybe with a therapist, to figure out why your identity is so tied up with this clover thing. Bottom line is, you're the asshole. You took her clover. She deserved the clover. She found it. It's hers. Give it back to her. I can't comment on how she behaved because I don't trust your interpretation or your description.
Yeah.
You described her with a fair bit of contempt. Not cool.
So true.
OP replies and says, I gave it back to her. So update. It's been a few days and a lot has happened. I read all of the comments and appreciate the genuine feedback I've gotten, and I realize that I am, in fact, the asshole. I think a few of you went way too far.
We went too far, girl.
I had a few people actually DM me with how hateful and harsh you were in your efforts to make me see that I'm the asshole.
Good.
But those of you who called out my problematic behavior and recommended I look into therapy are appreciated. I personally have a very complicated relationship with therapy and mental health, so I think I won't be getting therapy. I'll just try to be more aware of my actions going forward. I did tell my ex that she should maybe look into therapy. She didn't take it too well, but I hope she changes her mind.
Holy shit.
She's the type to believe in that stuff, and maybe it'll help her more than it would me. Anyway, yeah, I gave the clover back. It was hard, not gonna lie. Part of me wanted to keep it and never look back, but someone said I'd always look at my collection and know the six leaf one wasn't mine, and they were right. I want my own 6-leaf clover, not one an ex found. Also, for the people who say they hope I'd never find a 4-leaf clover, fuck you, I found another yesterday.
I can't. Is this real?
Narcissist doubling down. If I was the ex, I would make a video of me like shredding the 6-leaf clover.
He loves me. She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me.
Sure. I get it. The game with the
like
white
flower.
The white one.
Yeah.
Daisy line?
I think it's a daisy.
Yeah.
Daisy line. It's a dandelion and
dandelion.
It's daisy.
I don't freaking know flowers, dude. I would send a video of destroying it to her to just fuck with her head.
Wow. She really said, I'm good. I don't need therapy, but you do.
She's the type to believe in that stuff. Maybe it'll help her more than it would be. Buddy, she broke up with you. Or I guess actually you broke up with her, but she was heading towards it. Goddamn. It's toxic.
Oh, it was crazy. All right.
I
think that's all we got.
That's it.
Life updates.
Q&A. We'll do some life updates, but what, do you have some left over? I read all.
Oh, yeah.
I had 7, but one of mine was absolute trash that I read, and Teresa was like, what the hell did you just read?
Yeah, we had to cut it. I was like, dude.
So I will put that onto free Patreon episode. So if you join our Patreon, even as a free member, you'll see that pop up eventually. And then you will know exactly how terrible it was.
That's not very enticing.
No, that will be for free. If you come over to Patreon for free, you just sign up free member, and that is what you'll get. There's also a goldfish story that's available on our Patreon for free from a previous episode. But if you sign up for the actual paid Patreon members, what will they get, Teresa?
You get weekly bonus episodes.
Come on, give us a better sales pitch than that.
You're the sales guy, not me. I'm an accountant.
Come on, try.
Weekly bonus episodes that consist of usually 3 to 4 stories each. Every week.
More.
That's all I got.
Yeah, so
That was hard.
That's good.
I'm clammy.
Every Friday, bonus episodes. Teresa will usually do about 4 stories. I'll do 4 stories, usually about an hour and a half in length. Bonus. And right now you could go binge. We're up to like 30 or 40.
I think we're 40 something.
We're 40. We just filmed 40. So
40 episodes. 40 extra episodes.
That's like 60 hours worth of content.
Wow.
Binge it. But anyway, we appreciate if you guys want to come over to Patreon and support us. Now, let's get into the comments section. We really need to like level up our podcast game. We should have like a funky intro for like the comments section.
We don't have any intro.
I feel like that's what you get when you have like a studio behind you. It's just me. I'm the studio. It's me. I'm the one. All right, comment section. What do we got this week? And if you guys have any questions or you have any comments that I find funny, I screenshot them and then I bring them forward. So let's see. First one. Can't get enough of the bloopers. Hope you guys been enjoying that little new segment that comes in after the end of the episode. But question for Q&A, what vehicle do you guys drive?
You answer.
We drive a BMW because I'm a narcissist. We have a 2015 little BMW 320i that Teresa and I bought. And when we originally bought it, we rented it on Turo.
Yeah.
Used to be our Turo car. I used to get leased cars through the employee lease program with BMW. Had a little blue, little 230. Love that car. It was great. And then we got this car and we rented it on Turo. And then we got an M240i and then that car was done. And then I was moving over to Porsche. And then we just stopped renting it on Turo. And then that just became our daily driving car. I do miss having those new lease BMWs, though. It's fun times.
Yeah, Denver used to work at BMW for a few years, and then he moved to Porsche.
Yeah.
And
they used to do like 1% when you're an employee. You get this employee program that's 1% of MSRP. And MSRP is just like with the factory option, like no dealer fees. So like the blue 230 that we had, we rented it for like 475 Canadian dollars a month. I love that car too. It was great. But even better than that, the next one was the M240i, 6-cylinder, 382 horsepower, all-wheel drive, rear wheel, limited slip differential, brand new car, 2022. That was a great year. It was a good year. That was 1% as well. So that one was like $600 a month. And then you get it for either 1 year or 15,000 kilometers. And then you can get into a new car. But I ended up buying a project car at the end of that one. So I ended up giving Madison my Drive Your Brand DYB slots. So now we just have our 2015 320i that we've just been, I don't know, just take it normal. I also have
it's 10 years old now.
Yeah, but it's like...
I love it.
Leather seats. It was a base, bare bones BMW. Didn't even have the comfort access. No additional package. Absolute base, just luxury.
How much was it?
Car. We got it for like $15K. And we could probably still sell it for like 10 to 11. We got it we got it right before that COVID pre-owned spike up of pre-owned prices. We got a nice price, good car, and we Turoed it out. Basically paid for itself for the first 2 years. So it hasn't even, we didn't even like pay for it. So it's essentially paid for itself. So it's been like way cheaper. Super cheap car, and it's been good. I do the maintenance myself, and I also...
That's a big reason why we do the BMWs.
Yeah, I do all maintenance and repairs myself unless I can't. But I've always done that for all of our cars. But yeah, that's a big thing for BMWs. BMWs aren't as expensive if you do the maintenance and stuff yourself. But most people aren't mechanical, but I'm mechanical. I also have a 1997 BMW M3. That's my track car that we don't daily drive. I drive. Teresa doesn't drive it. She tried to drive it a few times. Manual, though. Race car seats.
It's hard.
It is hard.
I don't like manual.
And hopefully our next vehicle will be a big-ass truck to tow something that we're not talking about yet. Okay, on to the next one. An extra 5 feet of width on the home. Gotta be a podcasting room. I work in community planning, so I love seeing house layouts and look at them all day. So this is when I have posted our blueprint plans at the end of the YouTube episodes.
Wrong. Wait, are we telling them or no?
You could be right and wrong. There is a room that's a bonus room that got put in there that I think will be our podcasting room. But that's not the reason that we made the house wider.
Are we just going to keep letting them guess, or are we ever going to tell them?
There's some Easter eggs there, so yep. Question. Is there any podcast that the two of you listen to? And have you guys been recognized in public yet? If so, how did that go? Big fan. I listened during work.
We used to listen to 2 Hot Takes together.
We did. And we stopped because we started this, and I just felt like there's conflict of interest. I don't want to listen to stories and then try to avoid reading those on my podcast. Yeah. So stop listening to that. I think I've answered this before, but I listen to a dirt bike podcast called Pulp MX.
Yeah, but they're asking if we listen to any together.
Oh. Yeah. Sometimes I'll listen to Teresa's What We Said.
Sometimes you tune in.
If you guys also listen to What We Said, help us out and like throw at ThreadTalk podcast on their stuff, because Teresa's a big fan and she would love to
huge fan.
Collab and meet them and stuff, and we're going to travel to California soon. So if you could like help us become friends with them. Yeah, when we get RV life, we're going to go to California and stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, help us out. Helps
Yeah,
us to
I
make
would actually
sense.
be curious to know if any of you guys listen to our podcast and their podcast.
That's an interesting thing too. All right. Q&A is over. The comment section has ended.
All right, life updates.
Life updates.
I know you're just dying to talk about Gabby Petito.
Okay, let's get it. There's a couple things, but I'm going to get obsessed with that. So before, we have a movie update. Chase and I watched The Gorge.
It was good.
From Apple.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to come out, and then I found out when it came out it was on Apple TV, and I was like, amazing. And I was like, Teresa, do you want to watch this movie? It's a romance action movie.
I don't think it was any of those. I think it was purely sci-fi.
No.
I would, yes.
It was classified as a thriller.
No.
And I would actually say that it was a action first, romance second, sci-fi third. Because you had guns and assassinations, hashtag trigger warning spoiler alert for The Gorge. Check the timestamps below and you can skip to the next life update segment. I'll break down the life update segments for spoiler alerts because if you haven't watched that movie, it's really good. So you've been warned. The beginning, assassinations, bullets, great. And then little subtle love story going on, a little sci-fi teaser of like, ooh, what's down in the gorge? What are we protecting from? And then boom, girl across the valley, love at first sight, little romance going on. And then they're like communicating, they're like bored up and they're talking, like, you know, and then that's romance. And then boom, monsters coming up from the gorge, bullets firing, sniping, so much sci-fi, so much action to a little bit of sci-fi monsters, but they look human, but they look like zombie humans. So you're like, huh? And then love story, he goes over to their side and then he falls down and she goes right after him without hesitation.
Recapping the whole thing?
It was really good. I enjoyed the movie. I
do too.
No, everything there was seen in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, all that was in the trailer, but it was really good. Miles Teller was really good.
Mm-hmm.
The actor was the girl from Queen's Gambit.
I don't know her name.
Either, but
great.
like, I was like, a lot of times I watch movies nowadays and I'm just like, oh, it's just another plot that I've seen, another movie, like whatever. This one I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Had just enough romance in it and lots of action and perfect amount of sci-fi for me. So I was hyped on it. I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow. I give it an 8.3.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid. All right, moving on. Gabby Petito.
Yes. You have more thoughts than me, so
hashtag
do your thing.
Trigger warning spoiler for the Gabby Petito Netflix show. Once again, time-stamped if you want to move on to the next item.
Yeah.
And then I guess there should also be trigger warning for death and murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. If you have watched this, I have questions. My biggest question is how did the police never at one point, why do we not see body cam footage of Brian? The police go to their house and they're like, hey, Brian's here, but he's refusing to talk. Go to your attorney. Why is it that as soon as you say, I have an attorney, the police can't talk to you?
Mm-hmm.
Why can the police not make the arrest, bring you down to the police station, and then your attorney comes in and then defends you? Like, that's what we see in the TV shows. So are all the TV shows just pulling that out of their fucking ass? Are they not based on like reality of like how the actual procedure goes? So how is it that he says he's home, her vehicle, so at least they like towed her vehicle away because he didn't have rights to it. But how is there not like, hey, you're in illegal possession of a vehicle that's not yours and this person has been identified as missing by her family. You were the last known person with her and you claim that you're in this house and they don't get a verified well check done on him. They don't physically put their eyes on him and be like, Brian, what happened? You need to answer questions. Tell us the answers to these questions. And at least get like, no comment. I plead the fifth. Talk to my lawyer. They should have at least talked to him. Not just their parents saying, yeah, Brian's here. Huh? And then not what single point did they get footage of Brian being there? They said that they had street cameras. They got footage of the him driving home and it showed him the footage of like the highway.
Oh, like a gas station.
The gas station. And that was like, this was the last footage of him. You had no footage of in the Florida town where he came, no other gas stations
There was
he
a
passed
camera
by.
on their
Camera
street.
on their street. Why do they glazed over it and they said, yeah, we used that, but there was people in the way. Okay, but did you not get the exact timestamp of when that van arrived in the driveway? That would have been there before people were knowing that, like, to go to Brian's house because it was missing because Brian was there.
Mhm.
Right? So, like, why was there none of that footage? Why did the police is it not probable cause that if I go away on a trip with Teresa and I come home from Teresa and I start RV life and I come home from RV life by myself, Teresa's family's like, we haven't had contact with her for 11 days and I come back home and the vehicle's registered in Teresa's name. Is that not probable enough cause to get an arrest warrant out for that person to question them about it? That makes no sense to me.
And they
how
said he was a prime suspect.
prime
So
suspect. So
how
what?
is that not probable cause?
How is a judge not signing a warrant saying, yes, you have a search warrant to go search your house for this person, to talk to him and ask him questions about this? How do you automatically get to say, I'm a lawyer, and then you never need to be seen?
Trigger warning, talks of suicide.
That makes no sense to me, how they have no body cam footage of them seeing Brian. And then they say that Brian drove the Mustang to the place where then he killed himself. How did nobody, there was protesters outside their house and news cameras 24/7. Why did we not see any footage of like when that Mustang backed out of the driveway for the last time and then went and got parked? Why was there no footage of that car driving down the street, passing a gas station, passing an ATM machine, anything like that? Why was there no footage of the route from their house to that park to confirm? And then it's kind of ironic that an hour after the parents get there, they find everything that people for 30 days didn't find anything.
Yeah.
That's ironic or a coincidence or something. But
definitely not a coincidence.
My biggest thing with the whole thing is, how did they not confirm that Brian was in the house? And then how was there not like an interview with the parents? The parents were like, oh yeah, we haven't seen him for like 3 days. He was there, but now he's not here for like 3 days. I guess there was the footage of Brian when they went on that like little vacation. They're like, Brian's here with the family vacation. But why did the cops never have enough probable cause to interview Brian about where the fuck Gabby was?
Wait, what, the vacation, they showed footage of that?
Yeah, when they came home, he went to
Yeah.
vacation with his sister and stuff, and the sister came and said like, "Oh yeah, we went here."
But they had photos of that?
Yeah, people saw him. They had photos. It was in the thing.
Okay, I don't
So
remember that.
there was evidence that Brian was back in Florida, but never like at the house. And my biggest thing is like, why did the police not have any body cam footage of them talking to Brian? How are you just able to say, I have a lawyer, and that means you never even have to talk to a police officer? Don't you have to talk to the cops beside your lawyer? And the lawyer's like, no, don't answer that. No, don't answer that. How the frick does legal systems work? I don't know, because I'm Canadian. I don't know shit. Those are my questions. At one point, also, they show these are the last images taken from Brian's phone, and it was of like the skulls and whatnot. They never actually clarify what was the last footage Gabby took. They just show the drone footage. Was that actually the last footage, the last thing that she did? Those are my questions that I have.
I also, because I used to follow the case back when it happened.
I remember,
was
yeah.
very deeply, I don't know, immersed in it
Yep, I
when
remember.
on TikTok. So I do remember like Brian went live on Instagram for like
Yeah.
2 seconds and it showed him like on a boat.
Wouldn't Instagram be able to verify all of Brian's all the social media companies that Brian has, like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok? Wouldn't those social media companies be able to verify like when the last time the device was logged into? Does it show the GPS location when that device was logged in? Wouldn't Apple be able to help with like GPS locating? Like, I have so many questions that I feel like were unanswered. And are they unanswered on purpose because it's still an ongoing investigation? Or are they
Maybe he's still
unanswered
alive
because they don't know? The biggest thing for me is like, how is there not an interview with Brian, and how is there not an interview with the parents? But like, okay, parents, give us this exact timeline. What was the exact date that Brian got home with the van? Okay, what was the exact date last time you saw him? How did he leave the house? Where did he go? Why is there no interview like with that, with the prime suspects? I see all these other videos of like cops of like, it's the released footage of the interrogation room where they're sitting and it's like the murderer confesses to it or doesn't confess to it, but they're in an investigation room in the police station getting asked questions. How did the parents never got brought in for that interview? Or was it just not part of the documentary? And then on top, I don't have any more questions. Those are all my questions, but it's eerie watching the behind the scenes footage, the B-roll footage, as you would call
Oh
it.
my
of
gosh, it's too
Gabby.
parallel.
It's so parallel to us because when we are making our vlogs, yeah, sometimes we got to like redo a take and it's not good enough. And we're like, yeah, we weren't happy with that. And like we redo it and stuff. So it was just like so eerie
I was like looking at Denver. I was like,
watching like
I'm scared of you.
the stuff that gets edited out. It was so eerie because like we have like
It was basically us.
bro, we have like 100 vlogs of like when we went to Europe.
Yeah.
We have so many vlogs. And yeah, a lot of the times the raw footage, if you went through the raw footage, there's like 3 takes on something and we got to like redo the intro or we got to like redo it good enough. Like our Italy vlog.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many takes.
I know.
And I was just like, this is cringe because I'm like, this is what we do. It's like, yeah, when you make a vlog, it's like you're highlighting the best aspects, but there's always the behind the scenes. And it was just like cringy because it's like we know what the end was.
Yeah.
I did have their YouTube video up. I couldn't bring myself to watch it. Their first YouTube video that she posted.
Oh, I thought you did watch
No,
it.
I watched a couple seconds of the beginning. It looked like there was like she was doing good editing and stuff, but
Yeah.
I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it because I don't. It's hard knowing what happened.
Yeah.
Knowing what he did and stuff. Yeah, it's hard.
So
I couldn't watch
devastating.
it.
So
That's-
crazy.
Yeah,
And I saw
sad.
TikTok that said that they found 8 or 9 bodies
during the surge.
during the search.
It's
of
weird how
her.
they didn't highlight that in the film.
Right?
Because at the end of the film, they're like, you know, people say that she only got so much
Attention because she
because
was a white woman.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were trying to like, there's more cases like this. There's more missing cases of other people. And it's like, I feel like a decent thing to highlight was like, even though potentially it was only brought because of her skin color, like a lot of other bodies and people were found and stuff to it. Like it brought more of a search to that area and more things were discovered and like maybe bring more awareness to it.
Yeah, but I think the underlying point is that like that only happened because like it was highlighted that like she was like, you know, like a young, pretty like white woman.
Exactly.
That's why like it caught traction on social media and that's why it was able to like blow up the way it did.
Yeah. The only reason I found it interesting because it was like the van life aspect. When back then that was like an inspiring goal for us.
No, it wasn't at the time.
Back then it was.
2021.
Yeah, we've been talking about RVing since we lived with Kat.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember when we tried to do the Amazon reselling stuff?
Yeah.
At one point,
Oh yeah.
we used to go buy used DVDs and VHSs and put them on Amazon FBA, trying to like create income from that. This den that we're working on right now, when we first moved in, we would have stacks of CDs and DVDs and VHSs that we would label and then send off in boxes, huge boxes, to Amazon FBA warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about RV life.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That didn't really work out.
Yeah, so sad though.
So sad. Yeah, it was so hard watching the B-roll because it was like, that's what we look like. It's not the perfect stuff.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Anything else?
There's questions. From that, no. Ripley's.
Oh yeah. We took baby Andrew to Ripley's yesterday.
We didn't took. We joined. Madison and Chris as they took.
Yeah.
Baby Andrew. Infant, toddler Andrew, I guess. Infant still. He's not a year.
He's a baby.
Yeah, he's a baby. So freaking cute. He's getting big. He can start to crawl now.
Yep.
We're almost ready for a dirt bike.
He's crawling.
July is his birthday, and I get to buy him a balance bike. I'm going to buy a balance bike, and then we're going to paint it like lime green.
Perfect.
Cowie green. It's going to be great.
Perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, that was cute. We went to Ripley's, saw some sharks.
Yeah.
Saw some turtles.
We've never been there. It was actually, it was nice. It was fun.
Cool. It was fun. I feel a little sad for...
It was sad. It was
Yeah.
sad that they were like
We saw an iguana.
in these cages.
In the cage.
Yeah.
Small cage. Just chilling there. I hope they get like a bigger area at nighttime. Like after the show's over and people stop looking at them. I hope the door opens up at the back and they have like a nice big place to stretch out their legs. But I doubt it. Because how do they get them back in the morning?
There's no way.
I don't know. Like when we were in Mexico at the resort, when we did that vlog, we fed one a banana.
Oh, yeah.
That dude's probably loving life. Had all the area to explore.
Yeah.
Getting food scraps from the hotel people. This guy, I felt sorry for him.
Yeah. It was kind of sad.
Yeah. But other than that, it was fun.
Yeah.
Fun with Andrew. Fun to explore.
think that's all. These episodes are getting longer and longer.
Yeah, we're about 2.5 on the
Okay.
time mark. Yeah,
Okay.
we're about where we usually are. We got an extra story in there this time than compared to normal. Hope you were enjoying that. You got anything else?
Nope.
Well, we'll see you guys on Patreon for our bonus Friday episode. For you guys who are joining, everybody else, we'll see you on next Tuesday. We appreciate your support. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Toxic Waste.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Silence. Wow. Wow. Meow.
You're in love. You can keep going.
I don't know. With me.
What?
With me? You're in love with me? Ooh.
True love.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it in the silence.
Okay, my turn.
Yes.
It's me. During the gatherum. No, it's because his name's Leo.
I know.
It says Liam right after. It's so hard. Oh. Jane, you dumb motherfucker. Liam has a medical condition.
Don't say that. It's not part of the story. What the fuck?
I know, I just couldn't help myself.